won't be the issue where for some reason it won't show up in the game capture screen and I'll have to go to display capture. I don't know what was up with Persona last night, but it just wanted to be temperamental.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go.
Okay, so there is still that little a little delay between audio and video, but I'm equating it to using a different
service.
Streaming.
Yeah.
For service, and I think that's like how the capture card is probably using, so or the software is using. It's typically when you record something, record something live, there's usually a little delay. So.
Right. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think of the black on the side and bottom? Like, I made it a bit smaller so it's easier to see the chat and me without taking away from the game. Does that work? Do you think?
Yeah, that works fine.
Alright.
Yeah, that works fine. I mean, as long as we can still see what's going on and everything.
Right.
I don't think it's I know when, and I probably should have said this last night.
Oh yeah, you guys couldn't see my health bar and SP because of the face cam, right?
Yeah, because of your camera. So I mean, but I think I don't know if Origins, I'm assuming Arkham Origins plays a lot similar to the main game, so
absolutely.
I don't think it'd be that much of an issue. I think the only thing it would cover if it was in the regular screen would be the combo, obviously. Which, I don't know, if you want to impress everybody here, you definitely want to show that.
I think I'm alright.
Show your 50+ combo, but
alright.
Nice.
That was good. Don't kill your throat though. Alright.
Oh.
So hard difficulty because I've played Arkham games a lot.
So of course we gotta make a challenge for you.
Oh yeah, of course. It's only if it's a blind playthrough or something that I'd play it on normal difficulty. So
that's fair.
Do you know much about Arkham Origins?
I do know it's a couple years into Batman. I think it's a couple years into Batman's tenure as Batman.
Yeah, he's still pretty new to it. I know it takes place in Christmas. Yep.
And I think it was there's a bounty on him or something like that.
Right. We'll be seeing that right in the first mission. And Black Mask puts a huge bounty on Batman's head, so a lot of assassins would come into Gotham to play.
Yeah, because everyone was hyped about Deathstroke being in this game.
Oh yeah, his fight is one of the coolest, and shamefully it's pretty early on, so it sets a tone that it doesn't really keep up. Cause, I mean, it makes sense. Deathstroke's the only assassin that's good at straight up combat.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that I know this is supposed to be a prequel, so it was years before Asylum.
Right.
It's kind of odd that Batman looks just the same, if not maybe even older than he did in what's supposed to be earlier, later games,
right.
Later in the timeline.
I mean, we can just blame the Lazarus Pit or something.
Yeah.
Because, apparently in the Arkhamverse there's one underneath Gotham, so who knows what it's done to people.
True. My stream's gonna buffer me a little bit.
Uh-oh. Do I need to turn...
I mean, it's not bad. It's not stuttering or anything. It's just I'm a little late on certain things. It's only the visual, so.
Right, so the sound's still keeping up, but the audio's a bit behind, like you guys said last night.
To be honest, I can't even hear the audio at all.
Huh.
Again, I'm watching through Discord, not Twitch, because if I listen to Twitch stream, I probably will just hear
echoes, probably.
Yeah. But as Thanos once say, small price to pay for salvation.
Alright, so I guess that's an advantage of the subtitles.
Yeah.
Alright.
I usually do subtitles anyways, so.
Oh yeah. Makes it feel pretty cinematic.
Okay, Black Mask. First try.
Don't waste all your Batman quotes before we even get started.
Sorry.
Now you're good.
Besides, I want to be so serious now. Shut up.
Oh yeah, so Gotham doesn't really know that Batman's a thing yet. They think he's still just a myth. So they're kind of freaking the hell out.
This is bad. So when people are actually scared of Batman.
Yeah, before he's like a common thing to see around Gotham just chilling.
Which, you know, it's understandable because it's like, honestly, people would assume that this is a crazy guy coming up in the middle of the night dressed in a bat suit. It's like, you're not the same person you want to do this.
Oh yeah. You're not supposed to be real.
So it was a legend. The Chupacabra and Santa Claus.
I don't know. He's here for Commissioner Lowe. Maybe one of his men knows where he's at.
Yeah, this is also before Gordon ends up commissioner.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume that he didn't have that good of a standing with the Gotham PD yet.
Well, remember, that was the warden of the prison. So they still think that Batman's made up.
Oh, okay. So it's interesting because, I mean, for obvious reasons, Kevin Conroy is not in this game as Batman, right?
Right. I don't know who it is.
I know Troy Baker is in it as Joker, and I gotta say, he actually makes a pretty convincing Mark Hamill impression.
Yeah, you can tell who he based his Joker off of. That's one of the things I really like about Jokers, is that you can tell which Joker they're the most inspired by.
I mean, of course, the reason he did Hamill Joker is because it's in that canon, because Hamill plays the
yeah, in the Asylum and other ones.
Yeah, but like I heard the interview when they were, like I said, I don't know if they were at Comic-Con or something like that, but he did the infamous line from, I think, The Killing Joke, but with that impression. It was, and he did the laugh, and it was like, and I was like, wow, that's actually pretty close. Like, if I didn't know anything, I could say it might be the same guy.
Yeah, I really like that about Mark Hamill's Joker, because it's just becomes so iconic. I think it's interesting that he's one of the most iconic heroes and iconic villains in cinema history, honestly.
I know, which is funny because, like, Hamill never thought that Star Wars was going to be a big thing, you know? It's like,
right.
Even when after he finished the first movie and he signed up for other roles, only referred to it as, like, that one sci-fi fantasy movie where he plays a farm boy. You know, so it's like, he didn't expect Luke Skywalker to be as big, or Star Wars to be as big as it is now.
I don't think anyone expected it to be that big.
No. I mean, being so huge to the point where it wasn't until a couple years ago that Pokemon then finally beat Star Wars with the biggest entertainment franchise in the history of the world. It's like, mind you, Pokemon's only been around for 20 years compared to, Star Wars being around since '77.
Oh yeah. And it's actually pretty incredible that Hamill never ended up typecast. Like, usually you play a big role like Skywalker, you're stuck as that one character type.
Yeah. You know, that adds the validity of Hamill's strength as an actor.
Say hi to the first super. Croc.
Well, there we go.
He looks different from in the other Arkham games, doesn't he?
Not as big as later, not with that kind of jaw.
Right, in Arkham...
It's more like a man than a straight-up monster.
Yeah, in Arkham Knight, they kind of justify it by giving him, like, a weird mutation where he gets progressively more monstrous in every game.
Which makes sense.
Oh.
The part is, I did play the secret mission Man-Bat in Arkham Knight.
Right.
It's like you can find a lab and everything, but he's not supposed to pop up until like Halloween or something. Like if you play the game on Halloween, and I did. So when I did one of the, I was trying to scale up one of the walls. Like he just jumped out of nowhere. I literally jumped out of the couch and dropped the controller.
Yeah, Man-Bat's a jump scare.
Yeah. I didn't even think he was gonna be in it at like any capacity or like more than just a reference. So. It was cool to see,
Oh.
even if it did scare the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, mad respect, but why though? I think that's the best way to put it.
Pretty much.
Hey look! Batman was smart enough before Arkham Asylum to just carry this stuff around. Didn't leave it in the car.
Until he gets Metroid. He'll have all this stuff and then just magically disappear. Because plot demands it.
Yeah, Other M tried to justify it as her needing permission to use it.
Yes. I mean...
Like, it was good on Other M to try something like that, but why would Samus listen to something like that?
Get the story reason as to why.
She was working with the military, I think, so she needed military permission, like, to work within their parameters.
Oh, the thing is that apparently her backstory includes working with. She once was like dead in the the Federation force, but decided to do her own thing after obviously not caring for the rules and jazz. She still respects Adam or who he is. I mean, that's why she was. She always like the AI was. She realized that the AI was basically him.
What? Did you see that?
And now then.
That guy just.
Like it's a little delayed, but yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
That guy just took off.
Oh my god. Is that a bug?
I don't think Batman can kick like that, so I think it had to have been. Like,
oh my god, that's amazing.
I've never seen anything like that.
Kind of disappointed it's not a common feature.
Well, this is a Batman game, not a Superman game.
Again.
If it was Superman, you'd expect to see that all the time.
That's gonna be interesting if anyone can ever do a good Superman, or at least a really good Superman game.
Yeah, that is very difficult because how do you feel so powerful without making the game too easy?
I think the thing is, like, I think Superman, the tie-in for Superman Returns, try to do something like this by not making Superman have the health bar, but make the health bar the city.
Oh yeah, that was Man of Steel in like 2000, in the mid 2000s, I think.
I thought it was Superman Returns.
They might have both done it.
Okay, but I mean, it's like, of course, the problem is the controls are still pretty janky.
Oh yeah.
Everything. So,
and
like, it's really difficult to get someone who's basically a god and try to make him as stable as possible.
oh yeah, especially since, unlike the Spider-Man games that came out after Arkham, the Arkham style wouldn't fit any superhero except basically Batman and Spider-Man. Cap, maybe,
That, yeah.
but I can't see it working for anyone but those two.
I think it's because, like, not only it's the whole martial arts and everything, but they have gadgets. I mean, Batman and Spider-Man are known to have gadgets alongside with their, whatever they're also famous for.
Right.
It worked. Arkham style can only get you so far, but Superman would just be way too hard to just limit him just to that combo style, especially you can reduce. Again, he said that he holds back like a majority of his power, because otherwise they would turn to basically a dust if he doesn't have full power. But no, yeah, like, and plus it depends on what version of Superman we go with, because
Very true. The Man of Steel one's very different from other ones.
it even depends on if you want to go with like the Golden Age Superman, which he has like a crap ton of stuff that's not even referenced anymore, like apparently like super ventriloquism, and he can even shoot the mini version of himself out of his hands.
Wait, what? Hold on, what was that one?
Oh, you do not. Oh my god, the Golden Age Superman is stupid OP. Like, he even has an ability to kiss someone and like make him forget exactly what happened.
Huh. That's peculiar.
Which they did that with Superman 2. He'd also like blow these planets out to oblivion.
What? Does this guy not exist? No, he's not. Like, this guy's the most powerful being in this universe. Look at this. I can't get a beat on him.
Game is like does not compute. This guy does.
Yeah. Is he gonna keep following me? No, he's stuck in that room. I can't tell if that's a shame or a relief.
I knew Arkham Knight was buggy in the PC version, but
yeah,
pretty bad.
Okay, yeah, that's 2 rather hilarious glitches in the first mission. We're not even 20 minutes in.
This show is already being promising.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just only wish I can experience this real time with you. But you know what? I'll take a couple seconds delay so that way we can both intensify how crazy this is.
Oh yeah. I wonder if anything wacky is gonna happen with the first boss fight.
As long as it's on Assassin's Creed Unity, we'll be fine.
Oh god. The faces? Ugh.
I never played Unity, so I didn't experience any of that. I mean, I know it fixed itself later on, but by that point, it's like, yeah, that the reputation's already set.
Oh yeah. And for some reason, everyone looked super sweaty in Unity. And like, Dragon Age Inquisition had that same problem, where like, they were a very weird time of graphics, where everything looked wet.
Yeah, it's like very saturated. It's like, I'm not sure if it's like different thing they were trying to go for, but yeah, it was pretty glaring to say the least. It makes your skins look all like leathery or rubbery or something like that.
Very rubbery. All right, Killer Croc time.
I will say the animation looks pretty good on this. Is that? Oh, I'm sorry, that's pre-rendered cutscene.
Yeah, that was cutscene.
It's that we no longer do this anymore. This is, I don't know when Arkham Origins came out.
In between City and Night.
Oh, that's year 2013, right?
Thereabouts, I think.
Night was 2015.
Okay, so interestingly, you would think looking at him, Croc would play a lot like fighting one of the Titans from Asylum. Not so. He's actually fast.
Well, he ain't that big boy yet. That lumbering wall of muscle.
Yeah, he's like not prime rib. He's like discount steak. Oh crap! No, bad alligator man. No, get down.
Down so I can make a burst out of you.
Oh crap! They really liked the QuickTime events in Origins.
I've heard.
Oof.
Ooh.
Rude.
Right. My breath would be very stanky right now.
Oh yeah. Like, not even counting whatever he ate, just in general.
Cool now. I heard, and depending on who you are, how you feel about QuickTime events, that's either a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm not the best at them, so playing God of War or Ashura's Wrath would be terrifying.
Kind of gone. Yeah, I mean, I played God of War 1, 2, and 3. I have yet to play the Dad of War yet. So
Dad of War.
That's or Dad of Boy. I mean, that's on my list.
Dad of Boy. Oh God, the stank.
But I kind of got used to the QuickTime events, but I will say, like, if you're not prepared for it, it adds like an unnecessary difficulty, because then it's like okay, if you you'd be close, but then if you suck at a QuickTime event, you gotta redo the fight all over again.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like, that's unnecessary challenge for the sake of making things harder, artificially harder.
I mean, I like the quick time events in the Naruto fighting games. Those just add to the cinematography of it all, even if you need to redo a fight.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what the quick time events is like. Just to make things look cooler and everything. I mean, I will say like, because I played Heavy Rain, that game is literally loads of quick time events. But, you know, for what it was, it's basically a playable movie. So.
Right, I've seen clips. I've never played it though.
It's interesting. Like, I thought it was cool at the time, but no, I guess looking back at it now is like, if I play it again, maybe like, I don't know, maybe not. I'll just watch it would be a great movie though.
Yeah, for sure.
Really cool. I don't know, it's just changes way of making games. You know, probably some things are just like that, and Beyond Two Souls is probably best off as a movie or a TV series than even a Netflix special than a video game.
Yeah, sometimes things just show up in the wrong media to really appreciate them.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good, but yeah, I think it would probably have more fans if he did it like that. But you know, that's kind of what Quantum Dream's calling card is. It's just making cinematic games, and no, it's all right. Like, you know, if you see the demos, the tech demos they would do, like those little shorts, especially the one that ended up being what inspired Detroit to Human. Like, it was, oh my goodness, that looked really good. Like, you never thought that came from a PS3 game.
Yeah, tech demos are always amazing. It's kind of funny because sometimes you'll be like, it feels like they never reached this potential again.
It's rough. It's like that's what they are, is demos, but you know, they get pretty much the good stuff of what they can do. You know, of course that's not including the gameplay and the inputs and everything, and the real-time rendering, and I don't know, it's interesting when you look that deep in the level, because then it's like, until we get to the point where game engine is going to be so freaking insanely good that we're going to get like hyper-realistic graphics that don't falter, like, it's going to happen, you know? So I'm seeing, I saw some of Red Hood and everything, so I guess it's like some of the ones he's seen.
Yeah, so these are like his walls of crazy and stuff. Like right here is the Maroney crime family. Here he's got stuff on the Red Hood.
We all know who that is. The original, at least the original Red Hood.
Right, before things got weird. And then this one has mention of Julian Day, the Calendar Man, but it also has patterns of Batman in it because people are starting to take notice of him little by little. Daggett Industries, more Red Hood.
Gregory Day. Gregorian calendar.
I love that reference so much. So I'm going to try to remain... I just can gush at all the references they use. Oh, here we'll get to see the whole assassin list.
Cool.
Assassin, sir. As in more than one. That's right. And you heard this from your mother.
Okay, so I have to ask, because this is the obligatory Batman question.
Yes.
Who's the best Batman?
Ooh. That is a very good question, because there's all kinds of different Batman.
Was animated in live version.
Right. The Arkham ones are pretty iconic. I don't remember who that exactly is.
Well, that's easy. Kevin Conroy, who is the same one who voiced Batman in just the Injustice series, but also Batman the Animated series and Batman Beyond.
No kidding, that's the same Batman from then? No wonder he's so good at it. He's been doing it for years.
Yep. And actually, he appeared as Bruce Wayne in Arrowverse Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
Wow.
He actually got able to play as Batman, as Bruce Wayne. Not exactly Batman, but he did suit up a little bit. This is basically like a retired Batman. So.
Well, yeah, there wouldn't be any conflict in the Arrowverse if they had a Batman instead of Green Arrow.
True. No, Green Arrow nowadays is pretty much Batman.
I don't get that. Like, okay, I'm so glad you brought it up, but the Arrowverse Arrow is Bruce Wayne with a bow and arrow. He's not actually Green Arrow.
I mean, that's the thing is like, because I guess original Oliver Queen is kind of like, I don't know, because like, I don't know DC as much as Marvel.
Right.
So, for all I know, I'm definitely gonna be like, I'll probably get like YouTube messages or Twitch messages about this. Like the original Oliver Queen was more of a playboy. Like, I guess more like Tony Stark, you know.
Yeah, not to mention he's jokey, he's quippy, he's fun.
Like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Basically Peter Parker if he had money and
a bow.
Like that. Bow and not Aunt May or Ben Parker.
Yeah, he's legitimately turned into Bruce Wayne with a bow instead in the Arrowverse, and I don't really understand it, but they've been doing Batman dirty for a long time.
Probably just like as a marketing thing, because like Batman's always big, but when they did the Arrowverse, it's like, no. Of course, it's to be with a Green Arrow, who, you know, not a lot of people are gonna know right off the bat, unless you've seen like Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you know, references of him in Teen Titans with Speedy. So.
God, Speedy. I loved how many jokes they made about him and Robin being basically the same person.
They are. They even have the same style of domino mask.
Uh-huh. Use the same kind of hair gel too, I think.
I think even their main bodysuits even look the same.
Very similar.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely an odd choice, but clearly it did well enough for him to last a few seasons until they finally killed him off.
Very true. Now you're good.
Yeah. So, and they did find a new person to play Batwoman for next season.
Right. I heard about that.
A lot of people were like, "Why are you doing that?"
Right, because the actress that played her in season 1 just didn't want to do it for some reason anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they said a reason, or there's like, no, I'm gonna guess like there's either creative differences or maybe there's like some kind of behind the scenes dispute.
Definitely possible.
Because it's definitely, because Ruby Rose stayed in for the season and then she went to the Arrowverse, but like she's just up and left, so it has to be something pretty major.
I cannot help but laugh every time I hear her name.
Ruby Rose.
Because I knew of the fictional character of that same name long before I knew of the actress.
Oh, same here, so it makes it kind of odd.
Yeah, because it's like someone named someone after a fictional character instead of the fictional character just having a normal name to me.
Yeah, but it turns out the real character, the real person is actually been there longer, but of course she's not as famous. I wouldn't say as famous as the fictional one, even though
I'd say it's up in the air with how popular Ruby's been getting.
True. I don't know. Like, I guess it depends. I do know there's like groups for it, but no, it's still not as big as like some of the other stuff that's been around. Definitely, I mean, I'd probably be more recognizable than that one, though.
Right. Okay, so here's the stealth tutorial then.
The obligatory superhero tutorial.
Oh god. Sometimes I hate tutorials if it's the kind of game you've played ages of. Like, why doesn't Pokemon have skippable tutorials yet in this day and age?
I don't know. I mean, I get Pokemon was probably it's more geared towards like
younger audiences, yeah.
But even then, it's like I'm pretty sure people could at least give the option for veterans or anything, veterans of the series or something like, hey, we can just proceed forward with it or something, or at least like a short.
Oh.
I have a question where it's like, hey, have you played a Pokemon game before? And if we answered yes, like just give us a streamlined version of the tutorial.
Or they have. They did something in Gen 5 that they took away. If you beat the game, you get a hard mode.
Pokemon actually actually has a hard mode?
Yeah, if you beat Pokemon Black, White, or Black 2, White 2, you have to play again, but enemies' levels are raised and stuff.
And considering this is probably the age before New Game Plus was a thing, probably would make it a little bit harder.
Well, New Game Plus has been a thing for a while, but this was just completely new to Pokemon. There's never been anything like that before.
Which I'm assuming it haven't came back since.
No, they got rid of it in Gen 6, so it only lasted one generation.
Oh, I mean, I want to assume that people just kind of stopped watching the story and just end up, because like, I'm assuming like after you're done with the story, not only you're overpowered as a champion, but then you're like, okay, let's just try to catch as many as we can, complete that generation's decks.
Right. And now here's the crime scene tutorial, because they started that in Arkham City.
Yes.
Like, well, at least how detailed this is. Like, the one in Asylum was pretty simple comparatively.
Crime scenes would be so much easier to solve if computer-generated
Reconstructions, yeah.
If you actually like correctly predict how, or recreate how it happened. It would toss. It would save so many headaches.
That's gonna be some bad tutors.
You get it all, like...
Hey.
So, you didn't really finish. You didn't really answer my question. So
best Batman.
Conroy? Batman?
I think Conroy Batman was the best. Christian Bale did a pretty good job with the Dark Knight trilogy, but I don't know why he did the Gargling Marbles.
Yeah. Funny thing is that a lot of people will say that Bale would make up great Bruce Wayne. Actually, that's the thing with like a lot of. It seems like other than Michael Keaton, everyone says like, oh, they can make great Bruce Wayne, but as Batman, it's like.
Right, it's one of those things where, like Peter Parker and Spider-Man, you need to be able to play both good in order to be the best for the role.
Let's be honest. I know people have mixed feelings. Some people have mixed feelings with the MCU's interpretation of Spider-Man, but honestly, Tom Holland's probably the closest we got as a perfect Spider-Man because he's both Peter and Spidey correctly.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree there. Tobey Maguire was a fantastic Peter Parker, but kind of a mess Spider-Man, and vice versa, and kind of the reverse for Andrew Garfield. He was a great Spider-Man, but not the best Peter Parker. Tom Holland's like the best of both worlds. I wouldn't say he's as good a Peter Parker as Tobey Maguire or as good a Spider-Man as Andrew Garfield, but he's hitting his stride and doing pretty good with both.
Yeah, though to be fair, he's actually acting like a schooler would.
Yeah, he's doing very good at that because both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were playing older Spider-Man.
The funny part is like, like Andrew Garfield was high school. Tobey Maguire just graduated high school, I think. But like, but we gotta think about it. Like, both actors were in their 30s or just over their 30s when they started playing Peter.
Right.
Compared to Holland, who is like, I don't know if he's. I'm not gonna say like he's a teen. I think he's a little bit older than that.
I think he's like
more believable looking than the other two.
Yeah, I think he's 23, but he looks young. He's got that baby face going on.
Plus, about it looks like he's trying to hold a frog in his throat.
Sometimes.
No, but honestly, I mean no disrespect to the other two. I mean, hell, I loved the trilogy. First two of the trilogy. The third one, I don't hate it, but like looking back at it, it's like, yeah, it could have been better. I mean, granted.
Yeah, didn't Sony
was forced by Sony to do some of the stuff, but
they were forced to add Venom to the mix.
For the sake of like publicity and people in for the thing. And he's like, he wanted to save Venom and everything because it's funny because like Sam Raimi did a lot of horror movies, especially The Evil Dead. So it's like really that should have been a shoe-in with Venom, but until his heart's not into it because he didn't want it. It's like, okay, you want Venom? Fine, I'll do him. Just
Yeah.
don't make him as good as you think he is. I mean, hell, casted Topher Grace, freaking Eric from the 70s show, play Eddie Brock. It's not someone you want to put as Eddie Brock.
I mean, I get it that his heart wasn't in it, but it feels like he half-reared it instead of at least doing his best, even if he didn't want to do it, you know?
Yeah. It sucks because, like, I did enjoy Sandman, even though it was odd that they kind of jammed him into the death of Uncle Ben. It's like, Sandman was actually really good, and plus that scene when the Sandman was born, that was honestly probably one of my favorite scenes of superhero movies, like.
Oh yeah, Birth of Sandman is still iconic, even in a post-MCU world.
I gotta admit, the special effects were surprisingly, they still hold up today. You know, if
Yeah.
you look back at that scene, they still hold up.
Yeah, it's really amazing that they did so good with that at such an early time and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because that was 2007, so... granted, we had The Hobbit and everything. I mean, not The Hobbit. We had the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's not like it's not achievable, but... it's definitely not as common as it is now.
Oh no, nowadays it's practically it's expected. But back then it was always a great surprise.
Then there's a Harry Osborn's Goblin is actually pretty decent. Like,
Oh.
I mean, the best part is it actually took three movies to build that arc.
Yeah, that was a great character arc. I really appreciated what they did with it, because they could have thrown it aside at any time or just skipped parts of it, but no. Even when Harry wasn't a big part of the story, he kind of was, and that's something I really like to see.
Well, it could have been, I don't know, it would have been interesting to see, but, so I liked the original trilogy, and then Amazing Spider-Man, I mean, I did like the first one.
Yeah, the second one tried to set up too much. It tried to MCU itself.
Yeah, because it was a thing, and Sony's like, no, we gotta make more.
We gotta make our own MCU.
Oh my god, I hate that that's still a thing. I mean, even with the new Scoob came out, which, no, I think you said it was really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Scoob, but it still had its flaws where it tried to set up a whole Hanna-Barbera universe.
Which that's really what it is. It's like, it's a stepping stone, because like I see some of these characters, I'm like, wait a minute, you're not Scooby-Doo characters. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe we might see Yogi Bear back in the movies at some point.
I mean, honestly, looking at Scoob, I think it's the best attempt to set up a MCU-style cinematic universe that I've seen besides the Marvel universe itself. Because otherwise we have the DC universe, which tried to do way too much with Batman v Superman. We've got, The Mummy. You remember that with Tom Cruise?
Funny part is, technically, Dracula Untold kind of counts, but they want to advertise it as such in case it didn't do so well. Obviously, it didn't do so well, so
Right.
they're just pretending it didn't. They said The Mummy was the starting point, but it really wasn't.
The Mummy was just the most marketed part.
Yeah, well, it's funny because they even showed The Mummy being referenced in the end of Dracula Untold. As far as the universal dark universe,
Yeah.
world or dark universe. You know, after 2 movies in, they're like, screw it, let's just scrap it. Because no one wanted to see those 2.
Oh, hey, look, it's Ace Chemicals.
Oh, hey, I know that place.
That place gets blown up in the Harley Quinn movie.
Well, that's very Ace of them.
She legit drives a chemical truck into it in like the first 10 minutes. It's amazing.
And she's not salty at all.
Oh, no, definitely not. I mean, granted, she was drunk off her butt, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, just funny because I still haven't seen Birds of Prey, which I know I heard it's good.
It's alright. I wouldn't call it like an amazing movie, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. DC is just a different feel for me because it's like That's the one reason I like Marvel more than DC is that, you know, Marvel characters feel a little more grounded, where DC just feels more like gods. I mean, granted, there's like DC heroes don't have any problems.
Right.
But, you know, compared to Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Fantastic Four, freaking Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are basically like, um, there's hardly a flaw in them.
Yeah. Plus, honestly, as far as consistency goes, I'd say even with some of my problems with Marvel movies, they have a consistent quality to them, where the DCEU has a lot of hit and miss issues, where like Wonder Woman is fantastic, but then you've got your Suicide Squad, which had a lot of problems.
The Aquaman, I heard, is amazing.
Same with Shazam.
I think they're now starting to realize, is like, you know what, let's just do these solo movies, because I think they just kind of, I'm not sure if they gave up on DCEU, or just, like, downplaying it now. It's like, hell, I mean, not even, they're doing they did a Joker movie without even doing even though Jared Leto was told he was going to have his own solo Joker movie.
Yeah, he was very, very upset about that. And I mean, I can't really blame him, but he was not a good Joker in Suicide Squad. He looked like some thug that had heard about the Joker and said, yo, that's a cool style, let me try that.
It's a 6'9" version of Joker.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, which really sucks, because, I mean, I can tell Jared Leto tried. I know he's a method actor, so he really tried his best.
Yeah, didn't he creep out the people he was working with because of it?
Yeah, apparently that's a method actor thing. Everybody does that. Even Joaquin Phoenix is not. I mean, we're just like, you know, some say he's one of the best actors of all time. Joaquin Phoenix does the same thing because, you know, method actors live. I mean, hell, same for Heath Ledger. They literally live their character day in, day out until the end of shooting.
Right, even Mark Hamill did that, where he'd, like, practice being Joker on the way to the studio and stuff, and people would look at him like he was utterly insane in the... on the roads.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but you know, they did cut the Joker time a lot, because apparently he was supposed to have more time, but they cut him down to like 7, 8 minutes.
Right, maybe if there'd been more time, we would have had him more developed and been more okay with him.
I think the thing is that because they did say they had reshoots in the I'm reacting nothing at all to the game you're playing, and I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, like, they did massive reshoots, and I guess, like, because the fan reaction to that trailer showing the Joker the first time, and I recall how negative it was, especially, like, people, you know, joking about the damage tattooed in his forehead. Like, I guess it's like a response to that, saying, like, you know what, maybe we can save ourselves if we, like, lessen as much of this as possible while still have him in there just to justify his existence.
Yeah, he was trying too hard, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but, you know, there were some aspects that's like, okay, it's redeemable, but, you know, he's only on the mercy of acting and directing. You know, it's like he's only doing what he's being directed to do.
Right.
Kind of like Hayden Christensen and George Lucas in the prequel trilogy. Like, Hayden Christensen, I know he's not that bad of an actor. Actually, he's really good, and the quiet parts he does is actually, those quiet scenes he did in the prequels were actually really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him outside of the prequels, so I don't really know how to compare him, but everything he does makes perfect sense, because of course he'd have trouble talking to women. He was raised by monks.
Yeah, I mean, even then, it's like, George Lucas apparently is much better as a producer than he is a director.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Because, like, let's face it, all love Sam Jackson. Mace Windu is not something that you say that's a signature Sam Jackson
Character, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he probably doesn't like being typecast. Nick Fury is a lot more quiet and stoic than, say, who was it, Jules in Pulp Fiction?
Yes, but, you know, at least he does it well, and it's believable. You know, it's in character. It just I don't know, like, Like,
What?
other than Wrecker,
Okay, an unconscious body just dragged across the rooftop.
don't focus on that too. But oh my god,
You saw it now too?
I just saw it, and that's pretty hilarious.
What is wrong with my game?
I think it's trying to be like PC Arkham Knight.
Stop trying to be Arkham Knight, just do your own thing, game.
If it has to be Arkham Knight, be the console versions, not the PC one, because apparently that was very unplayable.
At least at launch, it got a lot better after launch.
Yeah, well, I heard it was taken to a different developer, but they only had like 6 months or so to port the entire game, which was really it was really difficult to do.
Okay.
I think it took them like a legit full year just to fix everything.
Something like that, yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Of course, by the time that came back, you know, again, reputation's already put in there, so.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rocksteady that did it, it was, I believe, Iron Galaxy.
I think so. Oh, since we were talking about the DCEU, have you heard about Margot Robbie's new role?
That's something other than Harley Quinn?
Yeah, she's going to be the star of a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah, actually, not only that, she's actually co-producing it.
Really?
She's giving her own money for it. Now, here's the thing: it's supposed to be a reboot.
Yeah, I've heard that. That makes me kind of nervous because you can't have pirates without Jack Sparrow, no matter what you try.
Well, that's where I'm going to lead into this conversation, because originally, part of it was because of the allegations of Johnny Depp.
Right, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Then now it turns out that she was lying the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So Depp is, because that was the issue with Fantastic Beasts 2, because he plays Grindelwald.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people said that they're not going to support the movie because Depp is in it and they don't want to support a domestic abuser, which, you know, serious. I get it, serious allegation.
Absolutely.
No, but of course, as stated later on, I think earlier this year, cases dropped because it turns out she was lying the entire time. So, you know, trying to get royalties and jazz. So Margot Robbie is actually trying to convince Disney to see if they can get Depp back as Jack Sparrow in some, or at least in some capacity.
See, that would be nice. Like, I'd even take a passing of the torch thing where he, like, takes Robbie under his wing and, like, trains her to be the next Sparrow.
I'd be totally okay with that. I mean, I haven't seen 5. 4 was okay-ish. I mean, it can be done without, like, it wasn't really necessary. But like, I would be totally okay with Depp coming in, even if it's just for like one movie, and do that whole passing the torch thing. Because I think Robbie is going to be the star of that movie, but she is trying to see if she can get Sparrow back.
I mean, she's a good Harley Quinn. She's got my support with basically whatever she does at this point. I'm just tentative about it because of the whole Johnny Depp thing, because if they don't get him back, they're going to need to work dang hard to make pirates feel like pirates.
Just pretty interesting considering this is based on a ride at Disneyland, which did not feature any of those characters whatsoever.
Oh yeah, which is actually the rumor of who Robbie's character might be, Red from the ride, because originally she was like a wench, but now she's a pirate.
So what they did, they revamped Ride in the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing, is like, she was a standout character, but she was a wench that would be bought out by the pirates.
Yeah.
Of course, to appear more, not necessarily progressive, but like to show a little bit more power to the women. Not only did they have the women chasing the pirates in that scene, they made her into Red, which is also a walkable character. A walkable character you can
find at the land. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Only in Disneyland though. Unfortunately, not in Disney World. But yeah, she's a legit character. So, and honestly, first time I'm hearing it, but it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, to bring Red, who's a Ride exclusive character, have her movie series if they were to do that. So I would be okay with that.
Yeah, especially since they worked so hard on designing her new costume and stuff. Like, it can't be a coincidence since
and she was like one of the first of the new line of animatronics audio animatronics that they had. So like, of course, they spent a good amount of money making this one. They usually save it for like the good effects or important characters.
Right. You know what the best proof though is? It's where the funding comes from for Red's costume and redesign. They didn't get that from the parks department. They got that from the film department.
Interesting.
Yeah, so of course they'd want Harley and Red. I keep calling Margot Robbie Harley, but it just works.
Yeah.
So that's who I meant, Robbie. They want Robbie and Red to match so that it's clear who she is.
It could work considering Red is also a pretty sassy character of her own right.
Oh yeah, it's the right kind of energy, so I don't see a problem with it. It was just an interesting rumor I heard that's actually probably accurate considering what we know about what Disney's doing. Like, unless the Parks Department was doing a really bad job and they needed to transfer funding from the film department. But who knows if that's the case or not. You know, Disney doesn't like telling people what's going on with them.
I mean, most of them don't, but yeah, Disney is definitely big on that because, you know, they're I don't know. It's like, I mean, I told you this many times. I'm a big Disney fan. Big Disney fan at heart. I'm pretty sure my heart has like Mickey ears inside of it.
That's not healthy. You should get that checked out.
By a Musketeer? No thanks. I will admit there's some things is like, I mean, granted, a lot of like what people don't like about the corporate stuff and everything, of course, that came after Michael Eisner came in.
Right.
I mean, of course, he's also the same guy that on the Disney Renaissance and brought rides such as Splash Mountain and Space Mountain, but at the same time, it's Michael Eisner. I mean, like, he did some pretty bad decisions too, especially like Disney over California, or California Adventure, and he thought that it was a great idea. Like, he's gonna make super big money making Disneyland Paris, which was then Euro Disney, basically bringing American culture to Europe and France of all places.
Might not have been the smartest idea.
No, it nearly bankrupted the company. It didn't break even until like I want to say a decade later. Honestly, it was not good back then. Like that was in the 90s when it came out. Breaking until like after the turn of the century. So.
Alright, now we're getting to the good stuff. Right now I've just been going around trying to get info on the Penguin. Now we know where he's at, so we're heading to take over his ship. Yo ho, yo ho. How's that for fitting?
Seriously, pirates like for me.
Yay.
At least it's cool that they brought Nolan North back too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I never thought it was Nolan North, but.
Oh,
yeah.
What do you think about Robert Pattinson being the new Batman?
Okay, I'm expecting you want me to say something about this Twilight, but.
No. He didn't like Twilight either. I'm willing to give him a chance, just as long as he plays a young Batman that doesn't really know what he's doing yet. Like this one, who knocked out a guy trying to interrogate him because he accidentally squeezed too tight.
This one I'm thinking, because, personally, the only other experience I know of Patterson is obviously Cedric Diggory from Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
No, that's not a big role, but he did okay. I did see articles where people justify. We're not seeing the Twilight Patterson. We're seeing the other ones because he's done other ones like Elephants and Water or other serious dramas or serious movies. And I do know I'm not dumb. I know that Patterson's actually a really good actor when he's directed properly and
right.
You put him over there, so he has a good chance. I mean, granted, I'm not sure how well he would be as a Batman,
crap.
If it's bigger. but at the same time, it's gonna be, I'm intrigued to see, especially if it's supposed to be the beginning.
Yeah, he feels like he'd be more of a Robin or a Nightwing than a Batman.
He did kind of have the look of a Dick Grayson. What the? Is he? I'm ashamed to look down there, but I feel like I got violated by the Penguin's hips.
He is a very peculiar looking character in all of these games, but for some reason he just looks wrong in Origins.
Yeah, like, they were trying to DH the model that we got from
City,
but it did not look right.
Okay, that's obnoxious. So the loading zone it gave me was back in triangulating the position, not in trying to get on the ship.
Oh, it's that kind of checkpoint system.
That is obnoxious right there.
But what was I saying before? Okay, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Harrison's gonna do the job. I will say it's interesting to see the pop collar back.
Oh yeah.
That we've seen since like the 40s, I believe. So interesting design choice.
Yeah, what little I've seen of the suit looks alright. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
But the one thing I did notice is I think on his bat symbol, it looks like to be like there's some like broken pieces of a pistol or something like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I wasn't sure, but some people are theorizing that it might be the same gun that shot down his parents in that alleyway.
Yeah, like it might be Chill's pistol. That could be.
Yeah. Yeah, so like he wears it so that way it reminds him of like why he's doing this.
I mean, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have to ask why is he wearing guns on his chest.
But then we get into thinking about it, and like, which universe do you think it's canon to? Do you think this is like the Joker version, or do you think it's like DCEU version?
Or maybe it's like the other DC movies recently, it just be its own thing. I honestly do not know. I know people would love to see Harrison either meet up or fight against Phoenix Joker. Think about it this way, fucking Phoenix's Joker was around the time that Bruce was still a little kid.
Yeah, he was old then.
Yeah, so
like
he'd be pretty decrepit, but then again they did say like if this is still connected to
Oh my god.
Are you stuck? Yeah, he said like if they're still connected, wow, the detection system is obviously not on point.
No. No, it ain't. Alright.
No, I know Origins is not as great or as good as the trilogy. I didn't think it was like this iffy. Maybe it's just the PC acting up, I don't know.
It's possible. Let's be mean to this guy. I feel so disappointed. I expected him to go flying. Terrible game, 1 out of 10.
Come on, first try. Okay, let's do that shit again.
Are we allowed to give Lego Batman just a ton of credit for being so good? Like,
Oh, Arnett's Batman, Lego Batman, as silly as it is, I mean, basically what I would imagine a Lego Batman would sound like.
right? He had no justification to be that good. Even Zach Galifianakis' Joker. Like, that was a thing.
I was actually surprised by that.
Like,
It was,
was it more surprising that he was chosen or that he pulled it off so well?
yes.
That's the only response.
I thought I was your nemesis. Well, we don't really fight all the time, so...
The awkward breakup villain dialogue was one of the greatest things I'd ever borne witness to.
I know, it makes sense because that's basically the relationship Batman and Joker actually has, in a sense. But it's just amusing to see that even he's like, Superman is my bigger nemesis than the freaking Joker.
Just the amount of denial that Batman was in that entire movie, like. It's one of those movies like Big Hero 6 where it all looks super cutesy and childish, but it's got deep themes to it.
Oh my god, I was not ready. Honestly, I was not ready for Big Hero 6's your death like early in the movie.
Oh yeah, Tadashi? No, no one was ready for that.
I was like, wow, that's very Lion King of you.
Like, the problem that Big Hero 6 had and why it didn't get too popular was it came out the same year as Frozen. And
It did. And I did like Frozen. I will say Tangled is better, but I did like Frozen.
Like, it's the same problem with Megamind and Despicable Me. I like Megamind way more,
I love Megamind.
but they both came out in the same year.
Yeah, like Megamind is like definitely DreamWorks' underrated gem. Like, I love Kung Fu Panda, I love How to Train Your Dragon, and
Oh my
I
god!
do love Shrek.
Bro wasn't even looking my way. Okay, game, whatever you say.
I don't think your game is working well.
I mean, I guess I couldn't really see his face because I was in detective mode, but it sure didn't feel like he was looking at me. Let's see, not to mention the enemies feel a lot smarter than they should be. Like, I know I'm on hard mode.
Sure it's smarter or it's
Not working right.
I mean, I get this hard mode and everything. I sincerely doubt it'd be that drastic of a difference if you switch the difficulty. Again, I don't know. I don't play a lot of hard mode in a lot of games. I usually just play for the fun of it.
I mean, it's totally fair.
When I play like the 5th time in a row, then I need a challenge.
Makes sense.
And I curse myself for asking why the hell did I do this to myself.
That is traditional when it comes to playing hard mode games or like picking up Dark Souls or something.
Yeah.
Just, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah, because like honestly, I'm not looking forward to the day I actually play critical mode for Kingdom Hearts 3 to unlock the stuff that I want for it's only exclusive in critical mode.
Oh!
Like, the game was super easy. The game was super easy, but then it was like, it just spikes. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've heard the difficulty curve in Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the biggest in the series, where easy mode is one of the easiest, but hard mode is one of the hardest.
Bravo was, I played in normal, and I beat the game at level 36. Like, it was easy. It was like Kingdom Hearts 2 easy. Some people say that Trapado is the same thing. So, but like when they released Critical as a free DLC leading up to Remind DLC, that's what I heard is like Spike was so huge, like immediately there was videos about like, is this too hard, or like fail compilations because the enemies are either way too tough or made way too tough, way too strong. I mean, and think about it. Critical mode, your HP, your max HP is cut in half.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, like, instead of like 180 HP in every other mode,
You got 90. Oh.
you got 90. Yeah.
Alright, got him. That was rude of them.
And that's not including like what he mentioned, the pro code, so they added in to make the game even harder. Which if you're a completionist, you do need to use all the pro codes to get the trophy. So I hope you like torture and everything like that.
That guy went to the ceiling again. Oh my god, this is just going to be a reoccurring thing.
The game is surprisingly buggy.
Like, yeah, the game is trying to have fun with itself. It knows it's not as good as the other Arkham games.
True, but
Eh.
I don't know. Like, there's a certain quality you expect.
Yeah.
When it's associated. It is basically if Mario got bugged up the hell and back. It's not made by Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we're getting ready for the coolest fight in the game.
Oh yeah, this is the one with, because Solomon Grundy is in this, right?
No, Grundy is in City.
Alright.
I'm talking the Slade fight.
Already?
already. He's at the end. He's the final boss of this quote-unquote dungeon.
Hey, wait. They hype him up, and he's beatable in the first 2 chapters?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, you should see Electrocutioner when we get to him. Like,
My lord.
man's a joke. I mean, one of the coolest sequences in the entire Arkham series is in this game.
I mean, the funny part is everyone said Deathstroke's the best part of this game, but I didn't think he was like the second boss fight in.
Oh, I forgot. So, I don't know how much you've seen in this game, but penguins kind of be pimpin' though.
Oh yeah?
Not even kidding. Almost wish I was, but it's too funny.
I mean, come on, he's a fat old geezer. What? I mean, how pimpin' are we talking about?
You'll see in a few minutes.
Okay.
It's something. Urban myth this, son.
Kind of bold of him to station a very worn down ship.
I don't think it was originally worn down, but I think he just liked the name. I mean, it's called The Final Offer. Come on, what kind of evil businessman wouldn't...
What? It's gonna be an offer he can't refuse? Is that what you're gonna say?
Probably. What kind of evil businessman would turn down a ship called The Final Offer?
That's not sound ominous.
Oh hey, we've got something from Arkham City here.
Ooh.
He doesn't have a ship though. He doesn't have a giant shark. Disappointment. Let's appreciate for a second that Batman beat the heck out of a shark. Like,
all without shark repellent.
Yeah.
Bat shark repellent.
He left it in his other bat suit.
It's pretty old though.
Oh yeah, he probably needs a new can. Maybe that's why he didn't have it with him. He was getting a new can made. I don't think bat shark repellent comes cheap, so it makes sense.
Yes.
Oh right. Penguin's also running a fight club right here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, look out there.
Wow.
Yeah. Straight up fight club.
A millionaire is definitely quite different from what I expected.
I'm telling you, this is not your normal penguin.
Clearly not the same copper plot.
Yeah, he probably got messed up in the head a few too many times by Batman, so he's very different come Arkham City. Which, you know, makes total sense. Only so many punches to the head you can take.
True.
Hello, I'm the next contestant in the Fight Club. You thought I might have been kidding.
I haven't seen it.
Alright, here it comes.
Oh.
Yeah. And here's Electrocutioner, too.
That's the assassin, right?
Yep, he is one of the assassins.
I'm familiar with him, actually. I think this is actually the first time I've ever heard of Electrocutioner.
There's a reason for that. Have you ever heard of the Worf effect?
Warped effect?
Worf effect, like from Star Trek.
I haven't.
Okay, the Worf effect is when a character is introduced just to get the crap kicked out of them.
Are you still talking, or?
No, I paused to show you the Electrocutioner. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, it was like silence for like a good 2 to 3 seconds, and I was like, and that was like the easiest boss ever.
It's like Mysterio from Spider-Man 2. You remember that crap?
Seriously.
God, that was so funny to me as a kid. Because Spider-Man 2 was one of my first games.
Actually, I've seen a video of that. I haven't played Spider-Man. I didn't play Spider-Man 2. I played the original one and the third one. But at the time, my Spider-Man game of choice was Ultimate Spider-Man.
Dude.
I used to play Venom as well. And I gotta say, it was a great introduction to the Ultimate Universe.
Oh yeah. I love the Ultimate Universe. Like, shame Peter died there, but... Hey, Miles does a good job nowadays. Like, he had problems at first.
I had problems at first, but thankfully, once people actually figure out how to make him unique and everything, and not just...
Peter Parker, but again...
Yeah, Peter Parker, but Black and Latino. I mean, like once he actually had his own character, that he didn't even out for him.
Yeah, the problem is he only really got his own character in Spider-Verse. So he's still very new to being an actual developed character.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean...
Which is weird because he's been in existence for a while, so... You'd think he would have caught his stride before now, but I'm just glad it happened.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to see, cause like... Yeah, it's interesting because like the Ultimate Universe is basically the more edgier version of the mainline universe. It is kind of hilarious to think about because then like certain people like they changed up a lot of the rules, and some people didn't like it. Like Reed Richards is actually kind of an asshole and ended up being the maker and destroy everything. And I think the one that people were freaked out like. People did not like how Wanda and Pietro were in an incestuous relationship. That was really weird.
Yeah, sometimes it got really weird. At least they picked a good death for Peter. Like, that had to have been one of the coolest things. Saving New York from a basically mass apocalypse because of Magneto.
Yeah. He actually had a pretty decent, like a really good send-off. You know, he got to meet up and say his last words to May, and then Mary Jane before he head out. So, no. I'm
sure I will never stop ranting about this, but we need at some point to see a Peter Parker freak out about a Spider-Gwen. Like, come on, give it to us.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting once that happens. I'm not sure we'll see it in the MCU since Gwen Stacy has still have yet to make an appearance, if at all.
Yeah, Gwen doesn't exist, and instead of Mary Jane, they've got Michelle Jones.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they still eventually will introduce a Mary Jane. I mean, honestly, let's face it. If he's calling her MJ by this point, it's like... Honestly, I still think it's a clever way to put a twist on a typical, on a usual character, because like it's not just a new character that just happens to be named Mary Jane. It's like it's an actual unique one. It just happens to be the same.
Yeah, which is why she's so different from MJ, because she's not MJ. She's Michelle Jones.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I know some people have their thoughts. I mean, again, because like I do know people who love Spider-Man, but can't get into the MCU version because like either the characters are too different, or a lot of people didn't like how Iron Man's pretty much tied to Spider-Man from this point onwards.
Yeah, they call him Iron Man Jr., and that feels a bit insulting to me. Like, they're limiting all of his capabilities and accomplishments by saying, oh, he's just little Tony.
I get why, it's like, because, Peter did not get the same wealth of technology as he did before, because pretty much by this point he has access to our technology, because pretty much Tony gave it to him.
Right.
But but that's not the point. The point is not to make this amazing suit and to be the best version of Spider-Man. Like, he's actually learning how to be a better hero. Like,
yeah.
mean, that's why I love that exchange. Is like I wanted to be like you. No,
Be better.
I want you to be better than me. Clearly, we can't be without the suit, and clearly, I've mistaken you as
Right.
someone else.
For all its flaws, that was Tony's character arc in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, like people really tend to forget the character moments. Not saying that's the majority of these like people who make the arguments. There's some legit arguments, and I do agree. There's certain parts where it's like, you know, it's like that's the thing is like, you know, there's more to it than just like cutting corners and getting in the best stuff. You know, cutting corners and getting the best stuff. It's more of that's the way they're gonna do it, but they're treating it with the utmost respect and the best way possible. So if Tony is basically taken in as this new Uncle Ben, you know, because let's face it, who wants to watch Uncle Ben die again?
Right, that's why they set it up so that Peter would have been Spidey for 6 months before Civil War.
Yeah. I mean, really and truly, it's like, and people were wondering like why he sent him sent him in. It's like, well, frankly, Tony didn't want to fight in Civil War. He was really hoping that Cap can turn himself in peacefully. He brought a kid in just to...
Right. He brought Peter because he's good at restraint. Those webs are tough stuff. It took Cap a while to get out of those.
In fact, that's what Tony said is like, hey, what nice webs. What are these made out of? You know, it's like that was pretty much the reason. And had Cap not have Hawkeye and, you know, much Buckethead, like honestly it could possibly happen.
If for some reason Falcon hadn't just invented that Red Wing thing in Civil War, he would have lost. He was completely bound.
Yeah, like, do you see not Tony, you see Steve actually trying to pull out of the webs, and no, he can't. Like, even with the enhanced super soldier serum, he can't pull out of those webs. He'll disintegrate in a bit, but, you know, besides the point. I don't know, like, I guess, like, I get that I kind of defend the MCU a little bit, even with some of the movies.
Yeah, some of the poor decisions they've made, but a lot of the decisions are good.
Yeah. I don't know, like...
Salt, Batman? What?
I don't get it.
Yeah, that one's a mystery to me, too.
Salt. That sounds like Duck Goose, but... How does that make sense?
You know, I'm sure it's a reference I'm missing somehow. Maybe it's one of those, like, Adam West ones, where it's like, what's 3 ounces in a tree and dangerous? A sparrow with a machine gun! That was a legit quote from the Adam West series. Like...
I don't even know, and I know that that's a legit quote. I mean... Oh, that's so campy.
Love it or hate it.
Yeah. And of course, that was at a time that no one knew what the hell,
how to super.
Just how to super is like, how is Batman supposed to be interpreted? Like, you know, because Batman was definitely a little more cheerful back in his earlier roots than he is now.
Yeah, especially when you think about what kind of Batman you're kind of trying to institute. Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age.
Hell, it wasn't until Bronze Age that we finally get the Batman we instantly recognize him as, or at least Silver Age, you know.
Yeah.
More broodier and all that jazz. Golden Age is like, I mean, yeah, he still has that, like, broodiness. But, you know, it's definitely not as bad as it, like, not as big as it is now. Like, he pretty much be like Superman's best buddy.
Yeah. You know, I think one, like, cartoon interpretation of a campy Batman that worked really well was Brave and the Bold.
I've seen a couple episodes, and honestly, that was really good.
Because
it harkened back to the golden age of Batman, the golden age comics of Batman.
Like, he wasn't super campy. He was more like working off of the people that were super campy.
Yeah. Which is a pretty good throwback, you know.
Oh yeah. Because we've come to
you don't really see a lot.
we've come to expect Batman to be broody, so him reacting to campiness is a lot better than just seeing a random campy Batman.
The show had a lot of fun, and I mean, like I said, I only seen a few episodes, but I can tell the writing and the care is top notch.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a passion project.
Yeah. I guess I need to say my favorite Batman, huh? I asked you, but you never asked me.
Yeah, is it Brave and the Bold?
It's Kevin Conroy.
Hmm.
But I will say, Ben Affleck's Batman had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I enjoy parts of it, a lot of parts of it. Really, he and Wonder Woman were like the only good things out of Batman v Superman.
Yeah, honestly, the parts of Batman v Superman where they were trying to do, like, Dark Knight Rises worked very well, because that's the kind of Batman that Affleck was.
Oh, you mean Dark Knight Returns?
Dark Knight Returns, yeah, that's my mistake.
It's okay. Similar names. That's the thing, it's like, because then it's guns and everything. Like, I know, before people say anything, I know Batman used guns earlier.
Yeah.
Like, besides the point, it's the principle, you know, don't kill, or at least not unnecessarily, and he's I don't know, he just like basically turned to Frank Miller Batman, and no, Frank Miller did Dark Knight Returns, but at the same time, it's just, I don't personally dig that kind of, not realistic version of Batman, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, since he made Superman into like a pretty dumb place, like that likes just goes with the government and everything because the government is bad. So, it's literally all Frank Miller's stuff. Don't believe me? Look at Sin City.
I mean, one of the things I really, really appreciated about Batman v Superman was how it tried to set up injustice.
If we would have gone that route, I probably would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
I really tried to like that movie. I really did. I went to watch it the opening night because everybody in my family wanted to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only one that's iffy because, like, well, I don't know, because they're trying so much, and you know, I might want to wait. But you know, they bought me a ticket, so I was like, okay, I'll go. I really wanted to not love, but at least like Batman v Superman.
The start of it where Affleck is like watching the destruction during the Man of Steel fight. That was really cool. I appreciated that.
That one's actually a really good scene. I love that scene. Like, see that different point of view. It's like, okay, this justifies why Batman would feel that way. You know, it's like, because if Superman, you know, of course it's stupid to say even there's a 1% chance. It's like, that's still minor. But even if, let's say, like, Superman actually does go berserk, you know, this is this level of destruction he can do. Like,
oh, yeah.
He can top cities, no problem. So, it totally justifies his reasoning. It's just, everything afterwards is just so not well put together. No matter how much Snyder tried to do a lot of his usual iconic, I think he should just be a visual producer. Because his visuals are top notch.
Oh, yeah. Like 300, a purely visual movie, top notch.
Like when it comes to visuals and stuff, it's pretty amazing. But you know, I got tired of Superman being pretty much super Jesus, all that Jesus.
Okay, yeah, the Jesus imagery got ridiculous after a while.
And I don't know. And plus, I don't agree with his idea that superheroes should be a kid's thing, or adults don't believe that superheroes are supposed to be. It's like, no, because superheroes are supposed to be escape from reality because we want to hope everything good, you know, there's good. Like, I think he describes about what his version of superhero should be is basically what's not a superhero, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same argument like certain forms of media should only be for certain people. I don't get that. Like, no matter how you're limiting it by, everyone should be able to enjoy certain entertainment, so you shouldn't limit some things to saying, oh, they're just for kids, it's okay if they're dumb.
No, because there's some kids shows that even have, like, actual smart like, more commentary that adults can take, that adults can acknowledge, you know? If anything, it makes it more timeless.
I believe we're in for a treat. Is it time yet? No.
So, oh,
It was suspicious.
and it does look like an arena though. But,
Oh yeah, this is the Fight Club room.
yeah, I recall that.
Now, I just need to figure out where to hack to, like, extend a bridge and stuff to get into Penguin's office. Yeah, the problem in Origins is compared to everywhere else where there's a quote-unquote dungeon in Batman games, it doesn't really give you too many hints as to where to go, despite being kind of sprawling. Like, if it was linear, that would be fine, but this is a pretty extensive area.
I mean, you get to the point where it's like you don't want the game to handhold you, but at the same time, like a little like direction or something could at least like give you a nudge of the way, the direction to go.
Precisely.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, go right here from this number of meters away. You know, you don't have to go all Call of Duty about it. You know, at the very least, like at least give a little like indication of like, okay, where I'm going is the best way to go. Like some games actually pinpoint where you're going, where you should be going by a light source being brighter than any other part of the world.
Yeah, I really appreciate things like that, but you need to be very careful with that kind of tool, because sometimes it's hard to pick up what you're putting down. Let's see, I got the key card so I can hack stuff.
Alright, so someone in the chat said that
yeah, you're quiet, but they can hear me fine. Might be Discord. Let's see if I can do something about that real quick. Don't see why it would cause an issue. Let's see. Ooh, hang on, I think I've got it. Try saying something.
Batman.
Okay, I think I fixed it. It seems like your volume was a lot lower. It was at like half volume compared to where it should be at max. So let's see if that works. If not, I can keep fiddling with it.
Yeah. Oh, the snow stench, man.
The Sanch is in the house.
Stench, man. Yeah, sorry, the Sanch. My bad.
No, it's Sanch Man, but I'm just poking at it.
I'm the Stench Man!
I'm not even gonna try doing the Scatman thing.
It's the only thing I know. Because I can't... I think if I tried doing the actual scat, I probably would not succeed that well.
It might be fun to learn to do, but I can't see that being easy at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a guy who does 10-second songs, and he's a really good singer. Try it first time, and even he has to admit that it's really hard. It's like the syllables and stuff he can say is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and not just the switching of syllables, but how fast he does it is beyond belief.
Yeah, like that's an actual scatter right there.
Oh yeah, pure talent right there. Let's see. Definitely more to this area. Oh. Okay, I found it. It's a Titan guy.
Boy time.
Ow. Rude. Oh, right. He's one of those super guys I need to do an ultra stun on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was introduced in City, I think. You need to hit stun on them 3 times before you can actually hurt them.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, he's stuck in the wall. Thank you, Arkham Origins.
Only freebie you get.
It's like, what's that meme? Thank you, From Software.
Damn it, Bethesda.
Okay, good. He does have a hitbox.
Okay, thank goodness.
There we go. I was worried he might not have one. Because at this point, we need to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
When
so...
their health's pretty low.
You know, that might have been Andrew's problem last night, the user volume thing. I'll have to look into that the next time he joins the stream.
Probably. I mean, I don't know if it fixed anything, but at the same time, there wasn't an indication that it's still the same issue, so I think we're good.
Right. It's just that this is a very similar thing to what Andrew dealt with last night, so it might be the same problem.
Because he was pretty soft when we were talking, so that's why there's like we overlap quite a few times throughout the stream.
Right. Ooh, Predator section. Heck yeah.
Oh, you should be the shadow.
Boy got scooped. Alright, so one of those tricks to doing this is if you use the Batarang to knock them off before they start realizing that they're actually up there, they won't start looking up there.
Smart.
Because for all they know, they're just unconscious.
Despite the cord is still tight in his foot, but you know what? Maybe he just untied his shoes. I don't know. Bruh's motherfucker.
I really appreciate how well crafted the stealth sections are. Like, it's very difficult to replicate them.
Indeed it is.
And so many have tried. Like, Spidey PS4 did a good job of making it feel more like Spider-Man, but it still felt like, you know, Arkham clone.
Man, yeah.
Which, you know,
definitely did.
is definitely a good genre to be if you're trying to make a superhero game.
I mean, to be fair, the Arkham gameplay is pretty solid. You know, hardly anything you can... As long as you don't screw it up, it's pretty easy to do.
For sure.
Just then makes it harder to make it feel unique. I mean, I gotta give it to Insomniac. He definitely nailed Spidey while doing this kind of control scheme. So...
Oh yeah, not to mention Yuri Lowenthal, fantastic Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Like, he definitely sounds like an older Peter.
And here I was giving him so much crap last night because he's Yosuke.
Yosuke. Just
Like,
funny because I didn't realize that was him, so it makes it even funnier.
oh yeah. So here we are dissing the same guy that we're praising the night after.
I said he was a decent guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm the one that was dissing a hell lot. Well, it was Andrew, but that makes sense that he only made it so far because Yosuke actually gets better as time goes on. I mean, yeah, he's still like a total bro, but you know, like it's not that bad. He just gets replaced by Kanji as best bro.
I'll still maintain that Naruto is best bro. And yes, that is a joke.
Yes. Yeah. Only person that can be both.
Get you someone that can do both.
Best bro and best girl.
It's the only way.
This is the way.
Oh god.
Sorry, that's a Mandalorian reference.
Hey, baby.
Which I am excited for season 2 if it does come out this fall.
Early retirement. He disagreed and called you a, let's see, psychotic little bastard.
I'm hearing the cutscene, but like I'm seeing it. It's just like a little. It's just a little funny.
I am so sorry.
Like, I'm hearing the future. No, it's good. I it's come to the part of the core. It's just.
Yeah, I wish there was a way to make it easier.
I think unless I'm like error or something, or I'm not sure if it's like we have to use a different chat like apps program or something. I think it'll be okay. It's not like anything drastic.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like 3 to 5 seconds. Just wish I could react at the same time you are.
Yeah, I'll try to look into it, see if there's some way I can make it better.
If not, I mean, don't stress about it. For all, I'm just a guess. I'm thoroughly convinced that they just get Danny DeVito's figure and just Nolan North speak.
You really put that image to my head with no idea of the consequences, didn't you?
It could be any Danny DeVito character.
Nolan DeVito.
It could be the guy, the one from Philadelphia, or it could be the Lorax for all I know, or Phil from Hercules. Get my sword for you, Danny.
Can I offer you a penguin egg in these trying times?
Like, I am a Batman. I speak for the night.
One of my favorite memes that was corrupted from the Lorax is, I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees say shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. It's time. Rude.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ouch.
You think he'd be offended if we call him a Deadpool ripoff?
I would say that, but then again, I think Deadpool came after.
Yeah, Slade came first.
And yet, people know Deadpool a hell of a lot more.
Except for the people that watched the original Teen Titans.
To be fair, like, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't know comics that much, so I was confused why he calls Slade Deadpool or Deathstroke. And it turns out, like, the reason they can't call him Deathstroke is because apparently at the time, especially with Cartoon Network, you can't reference death in anything in the cartoon show.
Oh yeah.
It was geared for kids. So, then they just opted to just call him Slade because that's his first name. But I'm like, wow, that would have been so cool. Like, they watch a cartoon show and hear them say Deathstroke, you know?
Oh yeah.
And again, it sounds more personal when they use a first name basis.
Oh yeah. And yet no one calls Robin by his first name. Wait, is he the only one that we don't know the name of in the original Teen Titans?
Let's see, there's because Cyborg was Victor Stone, Beastboy was Garfield,
Raven is Raven, and Starfire is Coriander. So yeah.
It's kind of aggravating because then it makes you wonder which Robin it was. I mean, I think they said.
Oh, it was totally Dick Grayson.
I don't know, because like there's some things where like I guess then it was this Dick Grayson because then it showed the Nightwing segment, the future episode. So I mean that makes sense.
Off with your mask.
But at the same time, I was just like, it would have been cool like to use like whether it be Tim or another one I like was Tim Drake. I mean, of course, from the animated series.
Oh yeah, Robin 3. Well,
nobody likes Robin 2.
Thank God he's not like Robin 2.
Only Robin that people actually voted to kill off, and then they complain when that actually happened.
Well, I mean, that makes Red X Jason Todd, doesn't it?
I don't know. Like, You would think so, but they never explain who Red X is. Like,
I mean, he's too Robin-y to not be a Robin, so he's got to be Tim Drake or Jason Todd, right?
I mean, it would have to be Jason Todd because Tim Drake would never defect that way, and plus, I'm assuming, no, Tim Drake would probably be with Batman by this point. At that point, I mean, assuming if they follow that canon. But you know, again, it's like, who knows by this point? Like,
It's
I know they did a joke. They did a joke with him, and like I think like a short with Teen Titans Go.
yeah, the Titans Chibis before Teen Titans Go came out.
That's right. That's right. But then, yeah, like, you know, Jason Todd's definitely a really good guess, but who knows by this point? No, I was a little confused when I saw it. I was like, what? I thought that was a, you know, a Robin thing for that one time. Who's this guy? Again, this is before I realized what is going on, and then I read, I know more of the lore behind him. Yeah.
Alright.
Baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know Imano.
It's-
Oh no, never mind.
It's really peculiar that because of the continuity, Batman is the only adult superhero that exists. Like, you can make an argument for Green Arrow maybe existing, or Flash, because Speedy and Green Arrow are there, and Aquaman for Aqualad, but still. Oh,
It is very weird. Like,
he's trying to sell me propane and propane accessories. That son of a mother.
so what you're saying, he's best friends with Hank Hill.
He might be. Bad Deathstroke. Bad.
I can already imagine it right now. You should buy yourself a couple tanks to bring the propane.
God dang it, Slade, don't kill all my customers. That was a terrible Texas accent. I'm so sorry.
I'm not even from Texas, so I'm not even gonna judge you. Just live in Texas.
Alright.
If it makes you feel any better, I only seen like a couple episodes of King of the Hill. Like, so I'm not even sure if I even got his it's right.
You did pretty good for it. Oh! Shouldn't you know flurry attacks don't work, Slade? Here, I'll show you how they do it.
Getting these hands. Oh,
It's over, Slade.
I have the high ground.
you know, I saw a episode on Mythbusters and Hulu. They literally tackled the high ground myth.
Nice.
I mean, of course, the thing was like, apparently, if you have the high ground, and it's an automatic win no matter what. Of course, literally, when they did that, realistically, if it's one-on-one, there's no real advantage.
Right.
In fact, the difference is only like 1 or 2 wins. Or it's not justifiable.
Hey, look at...
This was like nice. Of course, with like the
Great.
movie, it was like, well, obviously he lost because he jumped over him like an idiot and got sliced to death by, you know, helicopter lightsaber over there. You know, so of course he lost dramatically. Like, it would have been fine if he just, I don't know, jumped to the side or something.
I think-
instead of just jumping over.
I think one of the funniest parts about the high ground meme is Obi-Wan doesn't even listen to his own advice. Remember Phantom Menace? Maul had the high ground.
He had high ground. That's the thing, is like he knew how this would happen. So like he knew what Anakin would do, because he would do the same thing.
Truth. Alright, so Penguin's busy.
He's getting busy.
Indeed.
God damn it.
Do you think I was exaggerating?
No. I mean, I knew you'd usually say some truth to it, but I didn't expect him to actually have.
Yeah, that. Intriguing. Black Mask is the victim. Alright, so now we've got to find our way out of here so we can solve a crime. Let's see, what's the best way to go? Isn't that door locked? Like, it was for a second. Was it only for the cutscene?
I guess so. Just, you know, of course you gotta stay for the important stuff.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, that bugs me. I would love the disrespect of just being able to leave in the middle of a cutscene.
It'll be funny. The developers actually programmed that, but when you do that, you get hit by an instant death. Like, oh, you think that was funny, huh? Well, let's see you laughing if you gotta redo this entire fight again.
I mean, hey, the Deathstroke fight was cool.
I'm sorry, did I say the entire fight? I meant the entire level.
Oh, see, there's the catch.
I would be a terrible developer.
I mean, hey, you'd be a fantastic developer for one of those troll games. Oh, God bless, I forgot about this guy.
Alright, hold on, it's not quick enough. Oh, Anarchy!
Yeah. He's screwing around Gotham, so he's one of the side missions that you get to punch the heck out of.
Yeah. They really had to go deep with Batman's Rogue Gallery on this one.
Well, you've barely ever heard of any of the assassins. Like, there was Slade, and then there's Firefly, but that's it, really.
I mean, I knew of Copperhead, but, you know...
Right, but not Shiva.
Isn't that a Wonder Woman villain, or am I getting it confused?
She might be. I think she's part of the League of Assassins in the Arkham games. Like, she's not Talia. See, that would have been cool, right?
Especially since they had history, so, like, it would have made sense.
God, Talia, like, their backstory is messed up.
Talia al Ghul, or...
Al Ghul.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
Freaking Damian Wayne.
So, what are your thoughts on Damian Wayne?
I think he's my least favorite of the 4 Robins that I know.
Even with Jason Todd?
Even with Jason Todd. Like, at least Jason Todd was still just, you know, Jason Todd. Damian Wayne is like freaking assassin raised, pain in the buttocks.
Okay, fair enough. But
Yeah, he's got a prince complex.
which is expected considering
How he was
raised by Talia and Rage.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it makes sense, but that doesn't make it less annoying.
Oh, right. I think he did get better as, you know, comics progress. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he even adopted a bat cow.
I'm sorry, Batcow?
Because marking one of the spots in front of his face looks like a bat.
Oh.
That's when he was actually trying to learn about compassion and everything. So, actually, the funny part is, he's trying to adopt quite a few pets to make as his own bat family. So, he's
Okay.
really good at big animals.
See, that's okay. Oh, you know, one time I really like him is in Batman versus, in Teen Titans versus Justice League. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god. I loved every second of it, but it felt really weird because it felt like a sequel series to Teen Titans almost, but things were like slightly altered. Like, Nightwing legit takes him to takes Damian to Titan's Tower, where Starfire is like head of the Titans and just chilling.
Wow. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they've got Raven, Beast Boy, Blue Beetle, and then Damian joins with Starfire as the leader.
It's really interesting that Starfire. I mean, I don't know, because like again, that's what stuff I learned about Starfire was through the show, the original Teen Titans. let me rephrase that. The Teen Titans in 2006 or something like that.
Yeah, the 03 to 06 show.
03, thank you.
You're good.
No, but I know she's not as ditzy as she is in the show for the most part. So
I mean,
that could be good.
Yeah, the trick with Starfire is she's naive, not an idiot.
True. Just something Teen Titans Go does not learn from.
No, Teen Titans Go turned everyone stupid, and for some reason they thought that especially Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy were stupid, so they're basically brain dead in Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, I mean, I will give them credit. There are some smart, there were some good jokes in terms of like acts with the continuity or something, or like references. There were some pretty good like background jokes.
Oh yeah, background gags. I appreciate some of those.
Yeah, but yeah, outside of that, I don't know. I might watch the Teen Titans Go movie because I actually heard some decent things about it. But I mean, especially on the few Stan Lee cameos, it's like outside of a Marvel movie.
I think honestly, the worst thing about like the Teen Titans movie and stuff that they do is whenever they want something to succeed, they threaten the old fans like, hey, you know, if this does really well, we'll consider bringing back season 6 of the original.
God. Like,
and
when I heard that was the secret end credits, and I was like, oh my god, they're actually gonna do it, and then
no, they've been dangling that carrot for years now.
Yeah, but that was like the most overt that has gotten. I mean, then they said it's going to show in the DC Universe streaming service. Like, well, that sucks, but you know, if it comes out, I'll wait till you do a free trial and just go through the entire thing. And now there's like not even any news because that was like what, a year ago maybe that they said it's gonna be on DC Online or something like that.
I didn't even hear about that. Like the only thing I know of that's on DC is that R-rated Harley Quinn show, which I have not seen.
Yeah, which is I heard is really. I've seen like snippets on YouTube, and as long as it looks really fun, but like, it definitely makes fun of like. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Like it makes fun of even some of the dynamics between the Joker and Batman.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, it's like I'm not sure they're starting to realize that their service is not as popular as they thought it was gonna be or something. Because like I don't know. Because like recently I heard that the Cobra Kai series, like, which is the continuation of the Karate Kid movies, the OG Karate Kid movies, not the confused with the other
Jared
ones.
Smith ones.
Yeah. Now the Cobra Kai is not only going to Netflix. The third season is going to Netflix because of the dispute with them and YouTube or Google, I guess. The first two seasons that were exclusive to YouTube YouTube Red or YouTube TV is also going to go to Netflix. So, I don't know. I just really want to stream Teen Titans somewhere outside of another streaming service that would have to pay for just one thing. You know, it's like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care for DC or anything like that. To be honest with you, I mean, you know, DC usually has a really good track record with their animated shows. I mean, I could just buy the Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Or, I mean, hell, I have Amazon Prime now, so I can just buy it on the thing and just watch it on my PS4 or my computer. But don't make me buy another streaming service just to relive my childhood if I wanted to. Yeah.
Don't do that to us. Not again.
Alright. Well, I need to ask this as well as your favorite Batman. Who's your favorite Joker?
Oh, it's gotta be Hamill, but the question is which version of Hamill Joker? Because they're all so good. I think Tass Hamill is probably the most iconic, but he also did the Batman Joker. He's also this Joker. Well, not Arkham Origins Joker, but he is the Joker for
I get it.
every other Arkham game.
So, you're gonna floor me with that one he was actually Joker in the Batman, the one with
Yeah, you might remember like the Bat mech suit that they made, and for some reason Poison Ivy was a kid.
And Joker was like a mix between a monkey and a clown.
Yes, that's the one.
I loved it. I didn't realize that was.
Yeah, that's Hamill.
Hamill. No way. He sounds so different.
Yeah, it was a different Joker.
I mean, to be fair, now looking back, now I should have seen it ahead, but like I was funny because like the Batman was honestly a very underrated animated series. I remember, like I enjoyed watching it on Kids WB. Like even whatchamacallit, I even saw the Batman vs Dracula movie, which was pretty cool.
I love how Batman has even more wacky crossovers than Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo has done a Batman crossover.
Yeah, even though it's pretty much the Golden Age or Adam West Batman, but still.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, wait, actually, you know what? Supernatural, Scooby-Natural has to be the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It definitely is. Because I haven't seen it yet, but it's probably because it's so meta. Because Sam and Dean referenced that they're in a TV show somehow.
Yeah, so they actually watched Scooby-Doo when they were kids. So Dean spends the entire episode fanboying.
Which is kind of cute, because you don't usually see Dean do that.
No, that's usually Sam's thing. But then... But then he also spends the entire episode trying to get with Daphne.
Of course, because the dude always tries to hit the bombshell,
which is even more hilarious because they're kids shows characters. So like he tries to get Daphne to spend the night in his room, and she's like, "Oh, silly, boys and girls don't share a room together." And he's just like, "What?"
It's like, hey, dude, remember. Got stuck in a kids show. The rules do not apply the same here.
Oh, and the characters actively had an identity crisis when there was like an actual ghost, like a supernatural style ghost that was haunting them.
Which that had to be pretty amazing, because that was even before they did the movies where turns out like the actual supernatural elements were actually real.
Yeah, they specifically went back to the original series where it was always someone in a mask.
That would definitely throw them in a loop. I was like, wait, that's an actual ghost?
Yeah, identity crises ensued. Shaggy and Scooby got super smug because they were totally right to be scared of things.
Like, we were finally vindicated.
Vindication.
Gosh, man, you're actually right.
Man, now I'm just remembering Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, where there was actually a decent character arc between Shaggy and Scooby trying to be taken seriously. Like,
the only Scooby-Doo movies I've seen were Scooby-Doo Cyber Attack, and my personal favorite, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Oh man, those hit different, my dude. Like, I remember loving the Alien one when I was a kid. I don't remember much about the Zombie Island one, but Cyber Chase was awesome.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called. Sorry, I was thinking of the other Cyber Chase.
No, you're good, man. Like
PBS mask for Cyber Chase.
Yeah, I was about to say that PBS show.
Okay, so thank God I'm not the only one that imagined that show, because then I'm like, who the f is the hacker?
Yeah, like, there's legitimately shows that kind of vanish from the public eye, and you're like, did I imagine that entire thing's existence?
It's crazy, because that seems to be a lot of PBS shows. Like, there was that Siamese cat one, which I was for sure I made it up, but it wasn't. It's a real thing.
Don't remember the Siamese cat, I remember freaking Zaboomafu. The lemur.
Oh my fool! Oh my lord! Oh man. Let's see, yeah. So I mean, that's as far as it goes, other than Zoom and like that. And I don't really, like I said, I didn't really watch a lot of TV outside of like Nickelodeon and Disney. But well, when we finally had cable, most of the time it's just rewatches and VHS tapes and stuff, like especially Disney sing-alongs and all that other jazz.
Right. God.
We had like
sing-along sets.
Yeah, where they had the mascots and everything. Like we had even all the holidays. Like we had Halloween, we had Christmas. Like it'll be like those costumes like you see in the Disney parks and stuff. So you know you get all the songs. So it's pretty. It's
Crap. Rude. Sorry, a guy just conveniently turned around at the second I was about to land on him.
Oh, that is some super hearing right there.
Maybe he should be the superhero here.
Yeah, especially how he slid across that rooftop.
Oh my god. We live in a peculiar world.
Yes. Let's see.
Let's see.
Oh, you like the Mark Hamill Joker, so obviously that. But what about a live action Joker?
Live action, that one's definitely a struggle. I loved Joaquin Phoenix in that movie. Mm-hmm. But there's also the fact you gotta consider that he technically wasn't Joker. He was someone becoming Joker. So that's definitely something that people don't really see. It's like one of those criticisms where, oh, it's not the character we know, it's someone that's becoming the character. So for a Joker that was already the Joker, Heath Ledger probably. But
would you say easily over Nicholson, or like over Nicholson, or was there like, there's actually a thought to it?
Well, there's actually a lot to consider when it comes to those Jokers, because the three you think of are Ledger, Phoenix, and Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Okay, so with Ledger, he's just Joker. We have no idea who he was before. With Joaquin Phoenix, he's solely the guy he was before. And with Nicholson, you see both. So the question is, Nicholson had to do both better than either. He had to be a better before Joker than Phoenix, but he had to be a better after Joker than Ledger.
It's kind of unfair considering he's the first of those three.
Exactly. So he was a blind entrance into a very peculiar situation. He was one of the first comic book movie villains. So it was very uncharted territory, and you can actually see, I think, Nicholson's Joker in Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin in the Sam Raimi movies.
Oh, easily, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Willem Dafoe took inspiration from Jack Nicholson's performance to do that.
Oh, I can definitely see that without question. So, I'd say Nicholson did a good job of balance. It's like the Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire thing again, where one did both decently, but one did one great and one did the other great, you know?
It's fair. That's a fair assessment to say. I mean, again, I haven't seen Joker, so I know travesty, but eventually I'll get to it. I don't know, maybe we can do like a full movie watch or something.
That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting, especially with this delay going on here.
Oh boy.
Well, that's only in Twitch. I think we were okay in Discord. So.
Yeah, I don't think it would be the same problem if it was just like a screen share through Discord, but...
Yeah, I think we'll be okay, but that's besides the point. So the most I can say is, obviously Nicholson and Ledger, since I've never really seen a lot of the Cesar Romero ones as well.
Oh yeah, Cesar Romero. I completely slipped my mind, that one.
But, I don't know, because I did enjoy those two, Nicholson and Ledger, but I will say, like, in terms of which one I would rather, I don't want to face either one. Let me put it out there. I don't want to face either one. But if you ask me which one I'm more scared of,
it's Ledger, right?
It's Ledger. Like, he is a true wild card, whereas Now, Nicholson is more true to comics Joker for the most part, like where he actually cracks a joke or something. Like Ledger Joker is simply psychotic, and like you honestly do not know what to expect with that.
Yeah, he was a psychopath Joker, not a Joker, and like for better or for worse, I definitely appreciate it, but it does exist.
It's just hilarious because like people really heavily criticized Nolan for this beforehand. Like they're like, really, you're gonna get the guy from Brokeback Mountain to play Joker? Like, are you for real? But look at it. He's the first person to win in a superhero genre, win an Oscar.
Yeah.
You know? But then the only other person, I mean, I'm sad that Robert Downey Jr. never got one. The only other person who got one after that, fucking Phoenix.
Strange that it's only Jokers. Huh.
What, the Oscars like psychopaths?
Well, I mean, we knew that. They're a Hollywood foundation.
Ah!
Hollywood itself walked into that one.
It's true. It's true. Still, it's kind of hilarious, like, you know, at least Joaquin didn't die before he get that Oscar.
True.
Which is sad, because I know, like, Nolan said that Joker would have otherwise appeared in Rises had Ledger lived, you know, from his substance abuse.
Right.
Or his addiction, so that's why you don't even hear him at all, hear mention of him at all, out of respect. Though they did say in the novelization that they escaped everyone. They transported everyone in Arkham Asylum except for Joker. So technically, if you go by the novelization, Joker still exists. He's just the only inhabitant left of that decrepit place.
Huh, as if he wasn't going insane already.
I mean, who knows if he survived, because I don't know if they had the same tenants or anything, if they have any tenants taking care of him or anything over there, but...
Oh, you know who's a fantastic Joker, who I think actually does a better job than Nicholson of doing both? The Joker, whoever played him in the Telltale Batman game.
I haven't played the game, so I can't say for sure. But I did hear good things about that Joker on that one.
Yeah, it's a very interesting version, because, like, Harley Quinn exists without Joker making her.
Really?
Yeah, it's, like, a really weird thing to think about. Because you're just like, okay, but how? How does that exist without that?
Yeah, like, Harley Quinn was made as a lackey for the Joker. I mean...
Yeah, like, that was her entire character in TAS.
Where she originally came from.
Yeah. Can you believe that an original character who didn't even originate from comics is one of the most iconic characters in the entire DC universe?
Now even has her own comic line, and now she's actually... I'm not sure if she's an anti-hero or a full-on hero now by this point.
It depends on who's writing her, honestly.
Yeah, which is kind of an annoying thing about comics, but that's besides the point.
Very true.
Yeah, but that's really interesting that, you know, a character that's original and, you know, came for a kids, was supposed to be titled as a kids TV show, ends up being like one of the most iconic characters of all time. And felt like you know, she's been there forever when really
No,
she's
she's
now.
yeah, she's like 30 years old as far as characters in comics go. That's ridiculous. I think she's like the youngest, newest character to be as popular as she is, and that's like counting all their attempts in Marvel to make new characters that are just versions of older characters.
I think the closest they got is Miles Morales, but even then, like he didn't really get taken off, like shot off until like not even when he joined the mainline universe is when you know Spider-Verse came out. Then everybody knows who Miles is.
Yeah, you've got to think of that as when were they created and when did they become their own character? Because Miles really struggled with that for years.
Yeah, while Harley got the show and then did a little like a little spin-off with her or something in the comic, and just love her. So then they're like, you know what? Let's just make her canon.
Oh,
Why not?
there's Gordon. And that's Barbara. Cool.
Oh, like I said, it's catching up, but that's really neat.
Yeah, because remember, he's not commissioner yet.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's not gonna be like, really, Harvey Dent, and we trust him. Alright, that's Batman.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. My God, why does Gotham have like the worst weather? I get it's based off of New York, but come the hell on.
Is Gotham just? You think about Gotham as a pretty shitty place.
Oh, and according to Batman v Superman, Gotham and Metropolis are like different boroughs of New York City, so they're like right across a river from each other.
That's an interesting thing. Like, wasn't Metropolis? I mean, it's interesting because it's like, I can see that. I can see that as being like both part of New York.
Yeah.
They both look like New York, but
They are both based off of New York. It's just that Gotham's the crappy New York, and Metropolis is like the utopian idea of New York.
But what you're saying is Gotham is Brooklyn.
I don't know enough about any borough of New York to say otherwise, but...
I don't know why, but I think I pissed off a lot of Brooklyn fans. Sorry, I only been to New York once. But,
Oh, hey,
yeah.
you done goofed, son.
No, it's like, that would mean that, you know, there's a possibility that Batman and Superman rogues galleries can mesh with each other.
Which, I mean, makes sense, but there's also just plain the fact that, well, think about it. Hell's Kitchen, they have a ton of villains of their own, but they don't cross over with Fantastic Four or Spider-Man nearly as much as you'd expect with how many heroes there are in...
That's true.
Do you remember like the very end scene of the original Teen Titans where it's like all the Titans standing ready to take down one villain? I keep imagining that anytime I imagine New York in the comics.
It's just so... This always makes it so interesting because then you have like all these people that are like, so wait, you're saying there's not a possibility, like say Spider-Man goes up against Doctor Doom? Like, I'm not including crossovers, just, you know, on a normal day.
I mean...
Or whatchamacallit, Batman going up against Toyman.
I mean, if you definitely count if you count crossovers, Spidey is actually like an honorary member of the Fantastic Four. He has been a member of the Fantastic Four more than he's been a member of the Avengers, and isn't that weird?
That is pretty weird, and I do know that. I mean, that's also how he got the Future Foundation.
Yes, because eventually they just turned themselves into the Future Foundation so they could keep the logos, but they had more members than 4. And that's one of the funniest things, just having to rebrand yourselves.
Sometimes it's just easier that way, man. I mean, if you have a good brand, why not just keep it?
Yeah, and everyone recognizes them by the FF, so they just needed to keep that. It's like Metro Man and Megamind. Music Man, so I could keep the logo.
Seriously. Like, that's big brain right there.
God, Megamind was just way underrated.
It really is. It's not the perfect DreamWorks movie. That still goes to, I don't know, like, that's a 3-way tie between Kung Fu Panda 2, Shrek 2, and How to Train Your Dragon 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with you there. That is definitely the 3-way tie of DreamWorks for me, too.
Yeah, but Megamind is, I agree, is very underrated. Like, it actually has a smart story, plays with the tropes without making it too, like, cynical or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And the characters are actually really likable, and the characters you want to hate is like, I get where he's coming from, because it's like, of course every guy is like, well, you know, if I get superpowers, I get the girl I want. You know, it's like who hasn't thought that one time? You know?
Yeah, like, they did a really good job of making the world feel real, and that is so hard to do, especially, what year was that? Was that like 2009?
Here, let me look it up.
Alright. Because if it was 9, it was right when the MCU was getting...
Ring of Mine came out. 2010.
2010, alright, so that's right as the MCU is getting itself together. That is the year after Incredible Hulk, and what was it? I know another one came out that year. Iron Man came out in 2008.
Yes.
Incredible Hulk was 2009, I think one more was 2009. No,
Captain America?
Captain America was 2010, wasn't it?
I believe so. Because I think it was or either that or Thor.
Well, either way, it's super impressive to think about just how far it's come. And they did a very good job of human heroes and villains in a world where that didn't exist yet, really. Like, the closest we had was Iron Man, and love it or hate it, Iron Man 1 was kind of rough around the edges.
It was the start, you know? It's like...
Yeah.
It's not a good movie, but... No, it was like... It was trying to go for something really big. And they don't even know it was going to succeed at the time, you know? I mean, hell, they even having RDJ was a risk at the time because he was coming out of drug, you know, cases for drug problems and stuff. It's like, he was close to being a falling out actor until that role basically saved him.
Oh yeah, isn't it weird to think about in 2020 that Robert Downey Jr. was like a bold choice as an actor when nowadays he's basically a go-to guy?
Yeah, unfortunately he got tired with Doolittle, but yeah.
I haven't seen it, so, but...
I haven't seen it either, but I heard some pretty bad stuff.
All I do know is that the, like, fight scene in Sherlock with Robert Downey Jr. was one of the greatest things I've ever borne witness to.
Yes.
Discombobulate.
Yes. It's funny because then we have Sherlock versus Sherlock when you got Strange and 2023.
Yeah, we've got 2 Sherlock Holmeses in the same universe. And...
Yes.
And we have a Watson, too.
It's true. That is true.
I mean, dude got bullied hard in Black Panther, but he was there.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's like... And it's funny, the funny thing then is, like, all the Sherlock fans, you know, of the show, that start blaming Marvel for stalling all the new seasons of Sherlock.
Well, then maybe he shouldn't have been so good an actor. Should have thought of that.
Seriously, I mean,
honestly, it just makes economic sense that someone would want to do a MCU universe then continue to do a BBC show. Like, sure, Sherlock was doing amazing, but it's like nickels and dimes here.
pretty much. Especially, he would have made a lot more money with the movie anyways.
Speaking of, Sam Raimi is in charge of Multiverse of Madness. Hyped or no?
I'm pretty hyped. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see because it depends on how they want to go with it. Like, it's like I know when they had the original director for it, he wanted to do he wanted to do like a horror superhero movie.
Right, which, makes sense for the name, for the characters they're using, for the concept, but, they can do whatever they want, I guess.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting if Raimi decides to stay with that feeling, especially since he does have, the credentials based on his his filmography, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. As Wanda is going to be in it, and I think she's going to have a big role in it from what I heard.
Right.
I know there's going to be another character. I think the villain's is Nightmare in there.
No, they're using Nightmare?
I think so.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down, game.
And interesting, but here's the caveat. because WandaVision's supposed to lead directly into Multiverse of Madness.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought that...
No. WandaVision leads into Multiverse of Madness.
But we haven't seen WandaVision yet. So...
And unfortunately, I think that alongside Falcon and the Soldier got delayed because of the halt in productions.
Alright.
Yeah, WandaVision's supposed to lead into Multiverse of Madness, which is interesting because the biggest question is, wait, what if Vision came back alive? And there was a segment where...
I mean, yeah, last time we saw him, he had that Windows shutdown noises going on.
Yeah, and... Alright, oh, by the way, spoilers, if you haven't seen Infinity War, apparently. But that's the point. Yeah, it's like, and then one of the scenes they show was Wanda actually getting pregnant, so it's like, is a story arc where, also titled WandaVision, where Wanda made up the entire reality. Like, it was part of her denial, so, beyond about it, she now goes to Strange to see the change reality to bring back Vision. So,
makes sense.
That's the theory, is like, Wanda is going to become the bad guy, because she's going to try to change reality, and Strange is actually trying to stop her.
I mean, Wanda could definitely be one of the most worrying villains. Like, you know, M-Day?
Yeah. Oh yeah, like, and the funny part is, that's with her without training under her magic.
Oh yeah.
Anything. Like, can you imagine if she actually taps into her potential and actually train how to do anything? Because, like, they're hinting that Wanda still has her reality-altering powers. It's just she hasn't quite gotten into that yet. But they did confirm that she's the strongest, not the most one of the most powerful, not the most powerful Avengers in the entire universe.
Well, they also said that about Carol, and she was out after one punch from Thanos. So.
Fair, but that was the hype, you know, about it. But I mean, it was said in an interview, was like, yeah, no, Wanda is still like the real deal, you know, like, don't sleep on her yet. And I'm pretty sure WandaVision and then Doctor Strange 2 is gonna show her what she's truly capable of, and it might not be for the betterment of the MCU.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, it's like a physical versus mental, where Carol might be one of the strongest physically. I'd still argue she's got nothing on Thor or Hulk, but Wanda is definitely the strongest mentally when it comes to, like, magic and stuff. Like, magic, not tech. I'd say that she and Strange are very tied, only because Wanda isn't trained. Like,
yeah, which is pretty scary to think. Did you just slid up the stairs?
Yes. I'm Batman. I don't care about physics.
You sound like the internet right now.
God, the Batman versus Spider-Man death battle. People are still furious about that years later.
Really? I would have thought it would be Goku versus Superman.
Oh no, that one's still heated, but it's like they're both things people are upset about. Hey Barb, how's it going?
Oh no, the funny part is Goku and Superman's right. I'll fight anybody, because let me put it to you this way: Goku did not have the mentality of Goku. Could have easily beat Superman. Just take him to the Red Planet, or show him Kryptonite, or do magic. I mean, it's like Superman doesn't have weaknesses. So if he would have taken advantage of it, yeah, Goku could have won easily.
Yeah, but Goku's Goku.
Yeah, he wants to face them at their limits.
And Superman doesn't have those.
Thank you! That's the thing people forget about. Superman, as he's written, has no limits. Especially when he's powered by the frickin' sun.
Legit.
So,
the only way I can think of to make it as fair a fight as possible, but also give Goku a chance, is how Spider-Man fought Superman. Like, way back when in comics. He got, like, temporarily empowered by Red Star radiation, which just made it so that Superman could get hurt. He still had all his powers and everything, it's just that he could hurt Superman.
Exactly. Like, this Batman did have a plan for Superman's no limits. But, I mean, it's just, that's the thing, is like, Superman... Alright, I kind of saw the chat.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
mean, that's the thing is like, Batman had a plan for that. I mean, hell, they did an entire story arc of Batman literally having a contingency plan for the entire Justice League. I'm not saying that Superman is unbeatable. It's just you gotta know when to take advantage of that, and that's the thing with Superman is like if you're not careful or you have the right resources, Superman can easily own anybody, unless you're up to his level, which is not anyone inside of Earth's atmosphere.
Well, except for maybe Kara.
Oh, okay. How about ones originated from Earth?
Yeah, okay. Anyone that's exclusively Earthling is going to have problems taking on exclusively a Kryptonian.
I think the only one I could say that could legit have a chance is probably, not including resources, would probably be like Wonder Woman. Diana is pretty much Superman in a female form.
To an extent, yeah. In some universes, I'd argue that Starfire could put up a good fight. Like, she's not as strong as a Kryptonian, but she doesn't have the kryptonite weakness.
It's fair, but you know, again, she's not from Earth, so of course
right.
She's gonna have abilities and biologies that can go up against a Kryptonian, a pure-blooded Kryptonian.
True.
It's the tough thing about it. Yeah, I mean, cause like, yeah, Batman can beat Superman, but you know, that's with a lot of things that goes with his favor.
That's with prep time. And the entire point of the Batman versus Spider-Man is that they're both amazing when given prep time, so neither of them was given prep time.
Yeah. And honestly, while not entirely game-breaking, Spider-Man's Spidey sense is just, it's way too OP against someone as human as Batman.
Oh yeah, for sure. The man can dodge machine gun fire. He can just say nope to anything Batman does, really. Batman has a plan for no prep time. Well, see, that doesn't work because you need prep time to make a plan. Even if it's like 5 seconds, you have time to mentally prepare yourself. Batman better than Superman 100%? I definitely disagree there. Like, it depends on who's writing the character.
Okay, yeah. If it's Frank Miller, then yeah, it's annoying. But I will say this, like, the thing with Superman is that he's such a OP Boy Scout that, unfortunately, when people try to write him, it's very rare for like a really good Superman movie.
He has a plan for even a bad writer? That doesn't even make sense.
Because he's Batman.
The problem is that people like Batman, any character is at the mercy of their writers. So, if there's a bad writer, even the best characters can be just awful. And honestly, some writers can just be super petty. You would not believe how many times the writers had ship wars for Peter Parker. So many times Gwen Stacy would be brought back to life, or Mary Jane would break up with him for something stupid. Or honestly,
it turns out Gwen Stacy is actually like some monstrous thing or whatever.
Oh yeah, the clones from the Jackal every time.
You really need to reference the Clone Saga.
Oh god, I'm so sorry, but it's better than referencing One More Day.
Ah, don't say that. I didn't even read the comics and that make me shiver.
Okay, I have to ask, One More Day, Clone Saga, or Superior Spider-Man?
Which is worse, or
yeah, which is the worst, or alternatively, which do you think has the most potential to be good?
Potential Superior Spider-Man, because I honestly think it was actually a pretty decent idea. I mean, not the best in that execution, but the idea of Doc Ock pretending to be Peter Parker and then eventually realizing, hey, you know what, maybe there's more to being a hero than just doing whatever the hell I want is actually really cool. But yeah, the worst one's still One More Day, just because it's basically a cop-out to just reset everything.
Yeah.
No, I mean, granted, it's a consequence for Peter revealing his identity in Civil War. and I get it, but at the same time, it's like went through so much to get, to get to where he was at that point, and then now it's basically gone, just with a blink of an eye.
Yeah, that would be the Parker luck. That's like the writing trope I hate the most. Like, I feel so bad about it every time because he does not deserve that, but he has the worst luck of any character. And I will fight people on that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anything you say about Batman's luck can be countered by, well, he's a billionaire.
Throw money.
Well, he was expertly trained by a league of assassins. Spidey had to figure his crap out himself.
It is true.
Like, there's definitely arguments to be made about other characters having bad luck, but there's a reason it's called Parker luck.
Oh, that is definitely true. I mean, which is why forever and always Spider-Man will always be my #1 hero.
Yeah, see, that's one of those things that annoys me about Spider-Man sometimes, though, is they don't let the mans breathe. Every time he gets something, they have to take it away from him somehow.
To be fair, it's like, I get it, because, like, once he gets everything, it's like, okay, where do we go now? But, that's what brings the interesting part of it, is, like, try to do something without relying on past storylines or, like, past things.
True.
Actually do something interesting. It doesn't involve ruining what that character already achieved.
But, like, the biggest example of that is, what's the name of it? He has, in at least one set of comics, his own lab, which he took over to, like, rebuild Oscorp as something that would be good. What was it? Like, Star Labs is from DC, so that's not it. It's Horizon Labs.
Okay, that's different from the other one, okay.
So, the problem with Horizon Labs is, you know what it eventually became? 2099's Alchemax.
Oh, how funny how that ties in.
Like, the man's not allowed to win. He's just... He can't even have his own business.
Even in death, it's just, you can't have it.
Well, technically, no, not even in death, because guess what? The CEO is still Peter Parker, but just corrupted into like an Orwellian monster.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, so in at least some versions of 2099, the Alchemax CEO is Peter Parker still. Just corrupted and twisted into a beast of a man who's basically the new Norman Osborn, but somehow worse.
It's 2099, like, he would be pretty old by that time.
Yeah?
No, so... Wait, did he have, like, some kind of biology-altering agent to make him younger, stay young or something?
Sometimes he gave one to Felicia Hardy and made a clone of her to be his, like, secretary/enforcement team. I'm not making this crap up. I almost wish I was.
Is this canon? Is this canon?
This is canon.
Oh my... Why? Why?
Because Peter Parker's not allowed to win.
Well, I guess that explains why Miguel O'Hara was a little iffy with Peter.
Yeah, that's why they're so touchy against each other in Edge of Time, yeah.
Oh my lord. Oh, you mean the successor to Shattered Memories that nobody played?
Yeah, the sequel to Shattered Memories, which was one of the coolest... Shattered Dimensions, which was one of the coolest Spider-Man games I've ever played.
Agreed.
That no one remembers.
Because it wasn't as good.
But yeah, that's why Miguel had so many issues with Peter in that game. It's because Peter's the CEO.
It turns out Peter is not a great guy if he survived that long.
Hey, remember Dark Knight that no one will ever shut up about? You die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Okay, but I thought that was a trope, not like an actual thing. What happens is actually living and still being the hero? Is that not interesting anymore?
No. Where have you been? That's never been interesting according to comics nowadays.
twist where that's like one of my least favorite twists or twist writings is to just make the hero bad for no reason.
Remember, to quote Captain America, "Hail Hydra."
Yeah, at least they kind of reason. I can't even say that with a straight face. They try to reason it as like a sleeper agent, but even then it's like, how the hell did that even happen? You know, it's like when did this have to occur either before the infusion of the super soldier serum or afterwards? I mean, even then, that would require him to get captured by the Nazis or the Hydra or whatever. We can't reference Nazis anymore. And you know, willingly get hypnotized. Like, it's so odd.
Yeah, I don't get the trope. Like, even with the Arrowverse, just for the first one, Arrow, he's a lot darker and edgier than most versions of Oliver Queen. But the worst problem has got to be Batwoman. Like, the entire concept of that show is that Batman abandoned Gotham. You know, like, one thing he'd never do.
Like, I think that would work if we had more context, though.
Which we're not given.
Which makes it bad, because, like, if you're not giving a context as to why he left the city, like, oh, just up and leave. Like, there has to be a reason to it. He just literally, you expect him to actually wake up from bed and be like,
yeah, you know what? Screw Gotham.
No, I did all this. Oh, I did all this for the city, and I got nothing. I got jack shit.
See, that's something that a young Spider-Man does well, is be upset about the city not being grateful. But that is not something that a Batman does well, because the biggest difference between the two of them, and there are many differences, is that Peter's always young, Batman is always trained.
Oh, I mean, also Batman's older, so he actually, you know, he would know enough to know, like, yeah, I don't get anything from doing this, but you know, at least it's good to know that the city is safer back in my mind whenever I go to sleep at night, you know?
Oh, you know, one of the absolute greatest arguments against the Iron Man Jr. discussion for Tom Holland's Peter Parker? Well, one of the biggest arguments is that all of Spider-Man's villains up to this point have been Tony's fault. They're Tony's villains, and Spidey's just caught in the crossfire. Which, you know, seems like a decent argument to begin with, right? With Vulture and then Mysterio.
I mean, it makes sense considering the ties to Tony.
But then you think about the fact, what's Spider-Man's overarching theme? Great power comes great responsibility, right? Well, think about it. Everything is caused because Tony didn't use his great power responsibly. And then that ends up giving these people great power, which they don't use responsibly either.
You know, it actually makes sense considering all the footage of them when they showed their, you know, their backstory. It's Iron Man's 1 and 2. Before Tony realized, hey, maybe I should take this more seriously, because if I don't, things will just get screwed up even more.
Precisely.
Actually, that's a really solid argument there. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, you can definitely claim that it's bad that they're just Iron Man's villains, but they become Spider-Man's villains because he has the most responsibility of any hero.
It's kind of ironic when you think about it, considering the amount of crap that the Avengers had to deal with.
The entire point of Far From Home was to make an Avengers-level threat, which Peter took care of himself. He soloed an Avengers-level boss fight.
It's kind of funny, even though it's like, granted it was all holographic CGI and whatever, but still, it's like he had to battle drones that would murder the entire civilization.
GG. Yeah, those drones honestly could have been way more threatening, but the entire thing was they were set up to make illusions. They weren't set up to be weapons. If they were, they would have been worse than one of those elemental beings.
Just funny. Well, which is kind of ironic considering that that Peter was the one who gave him the Edith and the whole thing. But,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, he rectified his mistake and he actually learned to trust himself, so that way he can save all of London, you know?
Yeah, I'll even argue that his arc with figuring out the Peter Tingle in Far From Home far exceeds the, in my opinion, weakest part of Spider-Man 2. The fact that his powers glitched out because of his feelings.
Alright, I'm kind of, like, thinking about it, because, like, that was a big part of it, because it was times that, you know, that happened in the comics.
Yeah, he legitimately gave up his identity as Spider-Man when Tom Holland never did. Actually, Tom Holland's the only one of the 3 live-action Spider-Mans to not give up the suit in any of his movies.
Yeah. Give it time, Sony will probably ask for it.
Yeah, probably, but if you think about it, in Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire gives up the suit so he can try to be with MJ and turn his life around because he was having trouble maintaining the balance, which was, you know, the entire thing with Spider-Man is the balance.
True.
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of hard to be Spider-Man when you can't climb through walls or shoot webs anymore. Remember, he didn't make his own web shooters.
No, he had organic webbing, which was very cool.
It's very cool, but it's also pretty weird. Like, it makes him like one of the few that actually could do it. Oh, great. Mad Hatter.
That's the bro.
So, like, his appearances were always trippy, especially those little segments.
Yeah, he's very shenanigans filled.
Yeah, and I did have nightmares of Bunny Batman for a little bit.
Oh, from City? Oh no, yeah, that was messed up looking.
That freaked me out a little bit. But, back to the point. I mean, could argue that he was trying to better his life, and Tobey Maguire at least tried to better his life from now knowing that he doesn't have to do hero work anymore. It's like, okay, my life is kind of a mess, so let me at least try to rectify that, you know, make up for my past mistakes.
Yeah, compared to Andrew Garfield, who just pouted for like 6 months.
Yeah, that I can't defend. You know, like, that's what makes Holland like pretty unique, is like at least a little more engaging, because it's like, you know, he could have gave up, especially after the moment that Tony asked for the suit back. No, he just picks up his old suit that, you know, that was made before he went to Germany, and it's like, you know, just went with it. It's like, no, even if I don't have the bulletproof suit or the gadgets, I do this. I need to save. I need to make sure everything is okay, because otherwise I'm gonna kick myself in the ass if, you know, if things go wrong, and then I could have stopped it.
Yeah, honestly, some of my favorite Spider-Man sequences come from the Tom Holland movies. Like, holding up that crumbling building, that was definitely amazing. This game and Arkham Knight, the recent ones, this is the second newest. It's still pretty old. It came out in between City and Night. So, yeah.
And so, new-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, if you also don't count, unless you count the Arkham Knight, the Arkham VR.
Oh, yeah, that existed. Forgot about that.
But, yeah, so it's interesting. No, if this was on a PS4 instead of a PC, we would have just done Spider-Man. Just talk about Spider-Man. We ended up talking more about Spider-Man than we did Batman.
Well, hey, he earned it. He beat Batman in that fight in Death Battle.
True.
Plus, that's definitely something to think about, that Batman's probably the DC hero I know the most of, and I still don't know that much about him, compared to Spider-Man, who's the character I know the most about in Marvel, and I know a lot.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like you like Marvel a lot more than DC.
Yeah, between
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, between the two, I definitely am more of a Marvel person than a DC person. That probably just stretches back way to when I was younger, when my first games was Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube. So I just was introduced to... See, that's interesting, because I was introduced to the Teen Titans pretty early on, but they're so separate from the rest of the DC universe in that show that I didn't really associate them with DC for a long time.
Yeah, DC. Well, Teen Titans is kind of like it used to be a very niche group. Like I know there's comics dating back to the '70s, but it's definitely not as big as say the Justice League or anything like that. It took a while to get its own popularity.
Oh yeah.
For me, is like I know I'm only a few years older than you, but it's kind of interesting that yours is on a GameCube game. A lot of my superhero came from like animated shows, so like from the '90s. So like I saw
Bamboozled.
X-Men, I saw Spider-Man, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League.
Oh man,
even,
the '90s Spider-Man show, Hobgoblin freaked me the heck out.
Oh yeah, like it's amazing, like it's crazy, like. And then there's also the Spider-Man spin-offs, like the Spider-Man Unlimited, which was
awkward. That existed for a little while. Wasn't that like an alternate universe he was transported to?
Yeah, because I think they lost the rights or something like that. So they decided to just take it to another world where animals, like anthropomorphic beings, are now controlling humans.
As you do.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because then it's like Spider-Man's there with this honestly pretty, I will say it's a pretty cool high-tech suit.
It was a cool looking suit. It just, the webs between the arm really looked like armpit webs in that one. Oh yeah, that one was the cape, wasn't it?
It was a cape. It was pretty. I guess it was like it was Marvel's answer to Batman Beyond at the time.
Yeah, it was. Before they decided on $20.99.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, it was all right. I mean, it was interesting because then they had Spider-Man. It's like, are you an animal or whatever they said that race was, or are you human? Like, you can't be just one or the other.
Yeah.
At the same time.
See, that's kind of comes into play in the comics because he is an honorary mutant, according to like Xavier's school.
Yeah, like he's not a mutant, but for all he did, especially putting out the X-Men, is like, yeah, you're okay to come over and everything like that.
All right, so I think I'm gonna do this last area and call it. It's 9:45.
Yeah, this is a little later than I thought, but you know what? It's okay. So
yeah, it's been fun.
It really has. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll do the same tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, fortunately, I can't do like 2 nights a week or whatever.
Makes sense.
Especially depending on how my schedule is for stuff. But like, if you want to, we can try to do this at least once a week or something.
That could be fun.
If you don't mind me like chatting away and everything like that.
Nah, you're good. All right.
And I think it looks like your viewers are okay with me here, so at least as far as I know.
I haven't gotten any complaints.
But then apparently I was too soft.
Yeah. Oh.
I think looks like we fixed that issue out entirely. This is where the Joker is revealed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I thought. Okay, so they did it earlier than I thought.
Well, I also haven't been doing side stuff. I've just been going straight to main missions.
Oh, right.
Hi, Black Mask.
You son of a bitch! You think you can steal from me? Get away with it! You're a dead man. Dead. You just play along.
And it sucks that I'm hearing it, but it's not matching with what I'm looking, so... That woman with the Joker gas is freaking me the hell out.
Yeah. They did a very good job with this sequence.
And granted, this is all pre-rendered, so of course it is like...
It looks good, but I mean like the ambiance too. The music, the acting.
Oh yeah.
The Christmas music in the background.
It's a very Black Christmas indeed.
It's more Joker talks than Green.
Ooh.
Like, you can hear the Hamill in this guy. I love it.
That's what I have to say about Troy Baker. He really tries his best at giving his best performances, whether he's Joel or Booker DeWitt or this one. So I appreciate him for doing this.
Yeah. What's interesting is he was doing a Hamill Joker impersonating whoever was playing Black Mask. Ugh.
That's harder than it looks.
Oh yeah. It's like that gimmick they did in the Deathly Hallows movie, where they had Emma Watson watch Helena Bonham Carter and then learn to be Helena Bonham Carter. So they had to have Helena Bonham Carter act like Emma Watson acting like Helena Bonham Carter.
Just honestly, really cool. Cause like, I was actually kind of fooled by. I was watching that sequence and I was like, wow, that's actually really stellar acting. Cause like I could tell it was Hermione trying to be Bellatrix.
Yeah, that was a skill. Like, total props to Helena Bonham Carter and Emma Watson for that one.
Yep. I think Carter, wasn't she like a Broadway star or something before she started doing movies? Like, didn't she have like some prior experience to acting?
That sounds familiar. Like, I don't know for sure. I don't know a lot of, like, celebrity facts.
Fair.
But I could definitely believe it. She's got a very Broadway theatricalness to her.
Considering like some of the stuff she did later on, like especially like Sweeney Todd. Granted, Tim Burton was tied to that as well, but no, Sweeney Todd is a Broadway play before movie and all that jazz.
Sometimes I forget just how involved Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, and Helena Bonham Carter are. Like, they are a deadly trio. Like,
Truly are. Like,
sometimes it's just weird to watch them, like in Alice in Wonderland, but other times it's glorious.
Like Edward Scissorhands or something like that.
Yes, Scissorhands, definitely.
Well, funny part is that Carter is Burton's wife. You know, I'm not sure if you knew that, but they're actually married. So it almost seems like whatever he does, she kind of follows with him.
I did not know that.
Well, so now you know.
Cool.
Hello, Bonham Carter. Oh, there's a guy coming up. Yeah. So Carter is actually Tim Burton's wife. They just never did the name change, or at least if she's doing promotional stuff or whatever, she just kept her original name.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. If she was particularly famous before... Wow, why do people just go freaking flying in this game?
I'm gonna see this, apparently the gravity in Gotham is a lot lower than anywhere else on the Earth.
Huh. You'd think gravity would be heavier considering how strong people from Gotham are.
It can be a finicky thing depending on the game.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny part is, if you really think about it, most video games have like gravitational pulls heavier than Earth just to make things
Work right.
You know, especially in platformers, like you're not supposed to fall that fast.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed. Remember Game Theory did something on that where gravity's actually faster in the Assassin's Creed universe?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, like, the science parts with Austin in that same channel, or, you know, even his original channel, I think it was like Shoddycast or something like that.
Something like
you know,
that.
he deals with a lot of stuff like that. Or like he knows like gravity and typically in platformers are heavier. Well, you know, very few times that gravity is lighter. Like say hello neighbor. That's why you can stand on a cardboard box and not break it.
Oh god, his like mental destruction on the boxes is one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed.
Just pretty hilarious. Like
just the mental shutdowns involved when it comes to those boxes. To this day, I think it still triggers him.
just don't say box and it'll be okay. Let's hate Christmas then after that time.
Oh, they do not put their Christmas presents in boxes after that.
Oh, no. You want to be even better?
What?
I got you a present. It's a box within a box.
Oh god. You know, I think I know his least favorite character from a certain Nickelodeon show. Box Ghost.
Yeah, that has to be. Just even the sheer mention, I am the Box Ghost.
Gosh, I love the Box Ghost. Just Danny Phantom in general.
I like the first full season. I did like Danny Phantom. I would say this final season was kind of eh.
Yeah, the final season was definitely rushed.
Oh, because like writer left because writer wanted to keep going darker. Jarvin's like no. So Butch Harmon ended up doing like what he did with Family Odd Parents and ended up writing and directing the entire their final season. Which, if you know how the final seasons of Fairy Odd Parents went.
Oh yeah, the slow,
that's-
steady, hard decline.
Yeah, that's the Butch Hartman curse. Like, maybe known to be creating like the person who made up the ideas, but when you really look back,
He was an idea man and not a actual producer or something. It's like
yeah,
some people are amazing directors. Like Ryan Johnson actually directed one of the best episodes of Breaking Bad, but
yeah,
his writing was very poor in Last Jedi.
yeah. I mean, it's like, or George Lucas, like the original trilogy, he was strictly a producer. He only directed like the original.
Yeah, he only directed
no.
New Hope.
Yeah, but if you look at, everyone would say, most people would say Empire Strikes Back is the best one, which that's my opinion. And, he was a producer in that one. He wasn't even the writer or director. So, they say Lucas is a better director than he is, a producer than he is a writer and director, which, you can kind of see the point with the prequels. As much as I will defend that the prequels are not as bad as people say it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still a clear quality dip compared to original in terms of storytelling and all that jazz.
Shiva, trying to collect the bounty.
That's just a consolation prize, in case you fail the test.
Test. I don't have time for this.
Somewhere in New Gotham, an innocent man is about to die. And we both know you won't allow that. So the question is, can you find him, Batman? Can you save him?
So yeah, I think Shiva's actually in charge of a side quest instead of actually being part of the main plot like some of the other assassins. Like, I think Deadshot is too, actually.
Alright.
Which is weird. But that is as good a place as any to call it for the night. I ended up getting 2 Joker's big reveal. Oh, and look at that. His base of operations is the steel mill. Get it? Because it's like Arkham City.
I get the reference.
I understood that reference.
Totally. That's all I understood the reference.
Yo! It's so strange we live in a world that both I understood that reference and I don't understand that reference are indeed references.
It's kind of hilarious, the power of memes.
Sure is. Alright, I am going to call the stream here. It went over, but it went very well. Awesome.